You continued to analyze, but the fact that it kept erupting and then stopping made me a bit worried. When I was in danger, it reacted clearly. It seemed helpless. Was it intuition? No, just like not having an arm before, and now having an extra one. Have you started to adapt to that? That doesn't make sense. I don't know either. He said, anyway, if there is any new information, he will contact again. In his heart, Yan Wan thought to himself about that, with believers constantly flocking in, is something happening inside? He reached out to touch the cold body. Furthermore, what should be done with this person? Should they be sent to the people at the funeral home? The body inside closed its eyes tightly and collapsed. Seeing this, Yan Wang spoke up, his voice extremely urgent. Hey you, open your eyes quickly. Only when you wake up can we leave this place. In some miraculous way, the body inside the bag slowly woke up. He asked with concern, can you walk? Let me support you. Sowen still tried to force herself to speak deliriously, I'm fine. Seeing her face clearly, Yan Wang could not help but feel shocked in his heart. This person? He looked into her eyes, wondering if he had met her somewhere before. At this moment, Sowen suddenly looked up at Yan Wang and said, it's okay. She gently reached out and touched his hair, making him a bit confused. Why did you suddenly say it's okay? What is your name? She gave a silly smile as if trying to comfort him, it's okay. The annoyance in his heart rose, hey, is that the only sentence you know how to say? She persistently comforted him, it's okay. Seeing Sowen's foolish actions and expression, Yan Wang immediately realized, so there is something wrong with her mind. This is going to be complicated. She stood up and asked with concern, are you okay? He found her unusual but still replied, I'm fine. Let's get out first, we will go to Bingatha's place so they can take you home. He called out, Xian Wu, are you there? But then Yan Wang seemed to remember something, that's right, I told him to go check things out. Ziyu didn't tag along either. He sighed softly, looks like I have to take you out myself. For now, we need a temporary name since she only says she is fine. Chana, come here quickly, I will take you to Bingatha's place. On the other side, someone hiding and watching was extremely puzzled, what on earth is happening? A low-ranking believer stepped up to Bingathu and whispered, a low-ranking believer collapsed here, but this person can clearly use their ability. The low-level believer looked towards Yan Wang and asked, did you do this? Weren't you planning to join our cult? And what's with those clothes? Suddenly, another person stepped forward and spoke in a shrill voice, these are his clothes. Kim Hoon reached out to pick up the clothes. His voice gradually grew wary, besides, that guy is not someone who wants to join the cult. The low-level believer was shocked and exclaimed, mid-level believer? Clothes? Kim Hoon continued to give orders, I'll handle the black-haired guy. Low-level believer, please take care of that girl. He directed his gaze towards Sowen in the distance and instructed, that girl is the one the assistant pastor ordered us to take away. Do not let her escape. The low-level believer replied softly. Sowen replied, yes, I understand. They performed the prayer gesture of the cult. He touched his eyes, hoping for the grace of Lord Yan Wang to protect her. She continued, may you burn it to the very end. He followed. Please burn it to the very end. Seeing that scene in those words, Yan Wang turned to look at Sowen. But to his surprise, she had already vanished. He muttered in confusion. I will protect you, just hide behind my back. She was just here, where did she go? But then she reappeared at the feet of the prospective believer, kneeling down before her in an extremely pathetic state. He shouted in bewilderment. Sowen, why are you there? Come back quickly. She only kept whispering. It's okay. She still kept a dazed smile on her lips, making the prospective believer lose her temper and scream. What do you mean it's okay? Yan Wan anxiously yelled at her. Watch out. But what he did not expect was that Sowen actually threw a punch straight into the prospective believer's face. The mask flew off, revealing her face. Yan Wang was extremely shocked by the sight, feeling a secret excitement rise within him. Someone held up a low-denomination coin. With a blank expression, she muttered, "It's fine." He silently cursed in his mind, "How is that fine?" Seeing herself at a disadvantage, the low-level believer grew furious. She screamed and unleashed a barrage of attacks toward her, moving incredibly fast. But then someone ducked low and flipped right over her body, leaving her completely stunned. "What the?" Furious, she rained down countless punches, her face filled with clear frustration. "Why isn't it hitting?" Watching this, Yan Wang couldn't help but wonder in disbelief. She dodged them all? Just with that movement? No. Looking at the scene unfolding before his eyes, he thought to himself, whether rolling, standing up, or sneezing, those were not calculated actions. He stared directly at Sowen and concluded, that is pure luck. Yan Wang was so lost in his thoughts that he did not notice a figure appearing behind him. I have seen something like this before. I feel like I am about to remember it. As the punch was about to land, he finally realized something was wrong. He took a step back, turned around to face Kim Sharon, and successfully evaded the attack. The man took half a step back, panicked, wondering how he could have avoided that blow. Yan Wang sneered, saying it was not that scary. He clenched his fists, determined that this time it would definitely hit. With that, Kim Sharon advanced a few steps, his face incredibly fierce, as if he had made up his mind. Kim Sharon aggressively rushed forward and launched an attack. However, to his regret, Yan Wang managed to dodge it. Seeing this, he intentionally threw a few more punches. But sadly, Yan Wang successfully evaded every single one of them. Furious, Kim Sharon barked out, "Are you planning to run and hide like a rat?" Suddenly, his expression returned to calm. "Then how about this?" He extended his hand. Instantly, from a device on his wrist, a thick smoke was discharged, rapidly spreading everywhere inside the cramped room. Looking at the smoke, Yan Wang maintained a calm face. "What's this? Toxic smoke? Too bad, poison has no effect on me." But then, his expression suddenly shifted, his eyes widening. Seeing that reaction, Kim Sharon sneered, "Don't underestimate my toxic gas, this is no ordinary poison." He slowly stepped closer, his voice turning mysterious. "My magical power is named Illusory Smoke Awareness." The low-level believer standing aside witnessed that scene, then scrambled to hide on one side while covering their nose. In their heart, they thought that this ability could alter the cognitive level of anyone who touched the smoke. That mid-level believer had used the ability to suppress countless people and present them to the cult leader. She thought of a terrifying scene. Although the cult leader might have notable achievements, Kim Sharon's contribution to the explosive growth of the believers was immense. Yan Wang held his head, his face looking quite unwell, as he let out a helpless cry. She saw his devastated look and was extremely proud. Once you touch the smoke, there is no way to escape. The match is over. The intelligence of that kid right now will only be equal to a puppy. Kim Sharon with a radiant face stepped up to ask him, "How does my smoke taste?" He was still immersed in his illusion. Is there really nothing left to say? Kim Sharon's face became frantic. "Look up at me quickly, let me see your panicked eyes." Yan Wang couldn't hold it in any longer and spoke up, "Why does it feel like?" Then his face became more excited than ever. "It feels like I'd become smarter." Witnessing that scene, Kim Sharon stared wide-eyed, cold sweat pouring down. "Ah," he thought to himself, "what is that? Why did his eyes suddenly light up like that?" He scratched his head with a nonchalant look, his mind felt truly refreshed and clear. 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 4 is 4, the calculation is indeed smoother. He felt helpless. Isn't this calculation way too easy? Yan Wang wore a confident smile. Are your eyes playing tricks on you? The truth of this world is that 1 times 7 is 7. He thought to himself, did he only just realize that now? Kim Hoon suddenly stepped forward, grabbed Yan Wang's collar, and lifted him up, indeed like a little puppy. Your intelligence has become just like a puppy's. Why do your eyes look like that? He spoke in a delirious voice. You crave it so much, don't you, human? I reply, I don't need it. He panics, letting go of the boy's clothes, his face completely drained of color. Clearly, his ability had taken effect, but this guy, could it be? Yan Wang looks at him with a bewildered expression. Did you just help me boost my intelligence that much? You've got it all wrong. Kim Sharan snaps in irritation. Just how stupid are you? In a state of panic, he throws a wild punch, screaming at him in a frenzy, "You beast-like bastard, die!" Yan Wang instantly returns to his normal state. He recalls Lu Zhao's words from before, "Lord Yan Wang, before going to hell." He asked, "What? Is there something you want to say?" The old man slowly spoke, "From now on, I will no longer accompany you, Lord Yan Wang." Hearing those words, he was extremely worried. Why did it suddenly turn out like this? The old man replied that capturing the immortal would have a great impact on this battle. Lu Zhao recounted that a single blow shattered the boundary between hell and the mortal realm. Those who are the subordinates of Yan Wang, subordinates of the hairy man. The 12 zodiac animals departed, as if everyone had witnessed a miracle. In other words, now, everyone will have to be on guard. The more the old man spoke, the more tense Yan Wang's face became. Bingathu, who already knew about Lord Yan Wang, will no longer dare to look down on him just because he is a retired deity. They will use all kinds of tricks to. Fighting to his advantage, he helplessly continued. To be honest, I also suspect the incident of the hell religion, and I cannot shake off the thought that it might be Seonju. Therefore, I will stay at the funeral association. Here, I will conduct an intelligence war and comprehensively assess our military strength. I will be able to respond to sudden surprise attacks. He suddenly transformed into a human before Lord Yan Wang. Bowing his head, he respectfully said to him, "The enemy will no longer be careless. From now on, the battles will be even more difficult." Gently raising his eyelids, he said sorrowfully, "This old man has gone senile." At this moment, Yan Wang finally spoke. But the first sentence was, "Occasionally I would also like to speak frankly. I wish you well, hoping you will grow through every battle. Get used to your new power and restore your authority. Learn from every enemy you are about to face." Now, facing the crazed Kim Sharan before him, Yan Wang remembered Lu Zhao's words. If you think the opponent is too weak, they are not worth learning from. The night had fallen, the bright moonlight illuminating the entire area. A hand covered in sweat was raised high. Yan Wang was frantically practicing his techniques, the old man's words echoing in his mind. These were the techniques he trained alone at night. He kept training diligently, unaware that Lu Zhao was always watching over him. Let's test them out. Returning to reality, the panicked face of Kim Sharan appeared before his eyes. How sharp of him! At this moment, Yan Wang finally countered. If he were caught putting in effort all by himself, where would the coolness be, right? He swung his arm, launching a fatal punch, his expression cold and imposing enough to suppress the heavens. Yan Wang resolutely raised his powerful fist and charged straight forward, thinking to himself, Vajra indestructible palm. Then, he unleashed that punch at Kim Sharan opposite him, but the man managed to raise his hands in front of his face just in time to block. No matter how much strength Yan Wang exerted, it did not affect him at all. He turned his head back, the corner of his lips curling into a confident smile. TCH, as expected, success cannot be achieved in just one attempt. Darkness surged like an endless abyss. The thick atmosphere of killing intent made the entire space seem to forebode an impending, devastating catastrophe. Kim Sharan could no longer hold back and launched a counterattack. You brat, how dare you use me as a test subject for your technique? Kim Sharan charged straight down from midair like a bolt of lightning, while Yan Wang calmly met the attack, and the subsequent collision between the two shook the very space around them. Kim Sharan finally unleashed his ultimate technique, the secret skill of Bat Fa, Vajra indestructible palm. Yan Wang became extremely serious in the face of this power. Waves of invisible shockwaves began to diffuse. This was a technique that concentrated countless vibrations into a single strike, which Bat Fa had once used to trigger an entire earthquake. At that very moment, the silhouette of Bat Fa suddenly appeared vividly in Yan Wang's memory. That wild smile and those glowing eyes seemed to haunt him to this day, after having personally clashed with him. This is my judgment. Even though it has unleashed a terrifying power, it is still an incomplete technique. Memories of the battle with Bat Fa suddenly flooded back into Yan Wang's mind. If combined with the vibrationless technique he comprehended while hunting Bat Fa, I believe it could be perfected even further. Despite having gone through countless trials and failures, under the silent night sky, Yan Wang stood motionless on the rooftop, letting the memories slowly return. Yet, there remained one single weakness that I could not overcome, which was... The train of thought in his memories gradually reached a conclusion: natural frequency. Right after that, he immediately launched a counterattack against Kim Sharon. The memories continued to surface in Yan Wang's mind. To use the divine technique, one must undergo the process of determining the opponent's natural frequency. Kim Sharon yelled out, "Don't look down on me." The memories in Yan Wang's mind continued. If the opponent was as weak as this guy, it wouldn't be a problem. But he recalled the doubts that had once arisen in his mind. Could he use it in a battle against those who were on equal footing with him? Yan Wang gently dodged the attack, his eyes calm as if he had found the answer. Currently, to unleash the technique, he had to search for power about several hundred times. He must find a way to reduce that number. Kim Sharon swung his hand forcefully. "Ha, open your eyes wide and look closely. This is..." Yan Wang widened his eyes in confusion. "Look closely?" He helplessly slapped his hand against his head as if realizing something. Why didn't I think of that sooner? Yan Wang gently closed his eyes, and then a mirror that could pierce through all things appeared. Not long after, he joyfully opened his eyes wide and called out, "Karma mirror." The space seemed to go quiet for a moment, and the target that needed to be seen through was now revealed. Kim Sharon still confidently thrust a powerful punch toward Yan Wang, his eyes remaining firm though dripping with fresh red blood. Before his eyes, a strong and healthy body appeared. Yan Wang joyfully exclaimed, "I see it now." He didn't miss the opportunity. Kim Sharon was now as clear as a skeleton before him. In his mind, he silently calculated his opponent's bones, muscles, strikes, and frequency. Right at that moment, Kim Sharon also launched a fatal strike directly at him. Yan Wang closed 2 fingers into a sword hand, silently calculating the first strike. That sword finger struck directly into his opponent's abdomen. He silently recognized the technique, Vajra Indestructible Palm, first form. Yan Wang's eyes widened as he stared straight ahead, a single word flashing in his mind: martial. Kim Sharon couldn't block it and was sent flying instantly. He groaned in pain, grunted, and immediately dissolved into. The white smoke dissipated, leaving him standing there in a daze. On the opposite side, Kim Sharon was struggling to lie on the rocks, muttering to himself, "Is this really that strong?" Meanwhile, Yan Wang appeared extremely flustered. "Hey, I was still casually in my preparation stance. I didn't even have time to unleash my move before being blown away like that? That's too weak. I haven't even had the chance to practice yet. It was supposed to be practice." Suddenly, someone grabbed his shirt hem from behind. It was Sowen. She asked with concern, "Are you okay?" He smiled radiantly and replied, I'm fine." Yan Wang quickly asked, "Are you injured anywhere? Where is the person you were just fighting?" Sowen stretched her arms cheerfully and replied, "No worries, it has been completely taken care of." He felt a bit confused. She pointed her finger forward and said, "It's fine." Following the direction of her finger towards a gate, he asked back, "It's fine, we should go that way?" Yan Wang felt helpless, as the exit was definitely not located there. However, Sowen still innocently asserted, "It's fine." He sighed in frustration, "This is really tough." Yet she continuously repeated, "It's fine." Yan Wang looked at Sowen and thought to himself, if she were an ordinary person, I should lead her out of here immediately. But this girl has an incredibly special luck. He recalled every single moment spent with Sowen. Countless lucky events occurred in succession, to the point of defeating even a low-level believer. Yan Wang himself developed a curious thought: what would happen if I followed her? In the end, he decided to listen to her. "All right, let's go." Sowen still cheerfully repeated, "It's fine." He looked at the door ahead, wondering how her luck would turn out. On another side, everything vibrated slightly. It was Ziyu, who was running at full speed. Ziyu stopped at a pillar she had marked beforehand. Dejected, she realized she had returned to the same spot again. She began to feel anxious. She had clearly followed that believer, but why did she keep returning to the exact same place? Jiyu began to calmly reason. The time on the wall was 5:56, and it was now 6:20 p.m. Her hand gently touched the numbers. Time was still passing normally, but space seemed to be warped. Ziyu hurriedly used her wristwatch. Being alone was not safe, she had to find help. Yes, this was the non-business central headquarters of Sin. She seriously reported and called for backup. I am Jiyu, a member of Area A. I am investigating information about the Hell religion. EB2 situation has occurred, and I need assistance from a protector monk of level 1 or higher. Someone on the other end of the line received her information. Hell religion? Are you talking about a cult? Yes, that is correct, they have already infiltrated inside. Ziyu spoke her mind, as it seemed this matter was related to the departed souls. The other side replied. Confronting the Hell religion? Providing support is impossible. At this moment, she only softly replied, yes. The other side continued to explain. Our Hell religion is a good cult, they have made many contributions to society. Who would agree to carry out a campaign like this? It is incomprehensible. Then, the caller immediately hung up, leaving Jiyu confused and angrily shouting. Hey, wait a minute, what is going on? Are you a believer of the Hell religion? In the dark thoughts, it only showed, burning to the very end. Jiyu regained her composure, they hung up. She recalled a familiar scene. I tried reporting it to the police and the association, but no one would listen to me at all. Jiyu seemed to understand. It appeared that they had already infiltrated the association, those fanatical cultists. She began to panic again. She had to report this to Debay, or at least to Lu Jiao. She gritted her teeth and cursed. Damn it, has all communication been blocked? Out of the dark night, Oh Zhang stepped forward and said, It seems I haven't seen you before. She casually asked Jiyu, It's quite complicated inside here, isn't it? Many people have gotten lost like this. If you don't mind, I can lead the way for you. At this moment, Oh Zhang spoke while grooming her hair. Then, she seemed to sense an aura and gasped, Oh my god. Ziyu without saying a word launched a powerful kick, but she managed to block it and even judged, You really lack faith. She confidently replied, Don't look down on me, I have gone through many difficulties as well. Even if no one taught me, I still know that appearing at a time like this can only mean you are an enemy. Oh Zhang sneered, So you have quite some experience, don't you? Then there is no need to pretend anymore. She then drew one leg back to gather momentum, then rushed straight towards Jiyu as fast as the wind. At the same time, she also created a perfect protective barrier for herself. But she could not believe that she was still injured. She was truly shocked deep down. Was the protective barrier shattered in just a single blow? Sang praised Jiyu, Did you react in time? Your reflexes are not bad. She stopped attacking and asked straightforwardly, Is it Zekui? Except for that person, no one has ever blocked this strike. After that, she took out a comb to tidy her hair and continued, I thought you were no ordinary person, a high-level protector monk close to Zekui. Turns out you are a tougher opponent than I expected. Jiyu was in pain but remained highly vigilant. What was that just now? Her state is no different from a normal person, how can she be this strong? She was truly incomprehensible, moving so fast that only after images could be seen. Zekui looked at the blurry figure of the opponent and realized she was on a completely different level. Seeing Zekui remain silent, Oh Zhang continued, By the way, that fallen Fong, I think I've seen it somewhere before. A round, blue light, with a trail just like a tail. Before long, she remembered, No Thursday, isn't this Bingatha's technique? Oh Zhang gradually grew interested. Well, that guy is usually very strict when judging others. You're quite impressive too. Don't tell me you beat him up and snatched it from him? Hearing this, Zekui immediately asked, Do you know Lord No Thursday? Could it be that you are one of the 12 armors? You are still in human form, so how can you be this strong? Hearing this, her body instantly deformed, her finger pointing upward. She proudly said, "Of course it's different, because I am." Before she could finish her sentence, Zekui was suddenly pulled away by a hand. Surprised, she asked, "What is this?" The person didn't say much, only urging her, "Right now, run fast." Zekui still curiously looked back, and something flew into her eyes. The other person kept urging, "Hurry up." Zekui asked, "Who are you?" He replied, "My name is Yzam." Yzam turned back to introduce himself, "The leader of the Hell religion, I am her twin." Zekui immediately took a defensive stance. "Then aren't you on the same side as the person from earlier? Why are you helping me?" Yzam smiled brightly and replied, "My family matters are quite complicated, so explaining it all at once is a bit difficult." He stepped closer to her and continued, "Anyway, please remember this, I am on the side of Lord Yin Wang." As he spoke, Yzam kept his eyes fixed on Zekui. Night quietly enveloped the E-Gang mansion. In the ancient corridor, only the gentle sound of the wind sweeping through could be heard, whoosh, whoosh. Xianwu stood by a corner, sighing, "This is trouble." He walked while looking around in all directions, realizing he had gotten lost. This place was far too massive. What would he do if he couldn't make it back in time? Xianwu was sad, tears streaming down as he recalled those words, thinking that if it were him, there wouldn't be any problem. He said to himself that he didn't want to be scolded by Lord Jianlin anymore. Xianwu paused when he sensed something unusual, as a red spot flew in front of him. Xianwu was slightly surprised. A soul, a soul. His eyes widened as if he had realized something. Could it be? Xianwu recalled the words of Yin Wang. "Can you speak a bit louder? What did you say a Grim Reaper is?" "They are the messengers who guide the souls of the dead and bring them down to hell." At that time, he had listened very intently to Yin Wang. "If there are dead people anywhere, please guide them, and I will teach you some basics." Xianwu thought for a moment. According to Lord Yin Wang, the place where souls drift is where humans have died, but this... Thinking of this, he looked up. What caught his eye was a vast number of souls. Xianwu exclaimed, "Isn't the number of dead in this church simply too high?" He was drawn to a tiny soul, which seemed to want to say something. Xianwu politely said to the gathering of souls, "Excuse me, I'm just an apprentice underworld messenger, so, do you want me to follow?" Right after that, the soul immediately turned around and crashed straight into the wall. Seeing this, he quickly tried to stop it. "Wait, that's just a wall." But then, he immediately chased after it. "Wait, let me go with you." He tried to squeeze through the walls to follow the soul. "Hold on, slow down a bit." Arriving at the destination, Xianwu was truly shocked. He was utterly astounded by the pile of corpses below. Xianwu hastily covered his mouth with his hand. "What on earth is this? Are they humans?" Not long after, he was attracted by a man. There was someone wrapped in oil-soaked paper. "Why are there so many people here?" Xianwu immediately landed at that person's position and asked, "Hey, are you okay? Can you hear me?" Receiving no response, Xianwu then realized. "Oh right, I am a messenger of the underworld. Except for a few people, no one can see or touch me. Still breathing, this person must be alive, but..." Saying this, he broke into a cold sweat. Who would have thought there was such a place down here? Suddenly, a voice asked from behind. "Who are you?" That was... Taehuan demanded, "How did you get in here?" Xianwu was both surprised and terrified, thinking, "Can he see me?" But without letting him wonder for long, Taehuan delivered a decisive kick. That kick sent Xianwu rolling onto the ground. He stepped closer to him and replied, "What nonsense are you talking about? Of course I can see you. Do you think you are invisible? I am asking how you managed to get in here." Xianwu wiped the blood from his mouth and asked, "Are you a dead person? What is going on with the people here?" Taehuan explained bluntly, "Of course, those are the people who will be used as sacrifices. You were able to bypass the mid-level believers on guard, not bad." Hearing this, sweat drenched both sides of his temples. He thought to himself, are they planning to kill all of these people? There are so many souls in this place. Xianwu asked seriously, "Aren't you a believer of the Hell religion?" Why would someone who believes in Lord Yan Wang do these things? He shot back a question, you say you believe in Yan Wang? Immediately after that, he laughed heartily, having never seen anyone talk such nonsense before. Can you believe it? Taehwan arrogantly asked, you were sneaking around like a mouse, so I thought something had happened. Are you some journalists, or YouTubers? Xianwu asked in confusion, you don't believe in Lord Yan Wang? Then, why did you come here? Isn't it too obvious? Taehwan immediately grabbed Xianwu's collar. To get the drug, of course. Do you have any idea how amazing that drug tastes? He was terrified, only managing to stammer, that. The guy raised his voice further. Among the rookies this time, there's even a guy who abandoned his wife to come here. Hearing this, his mind drifted back to the old days, memories that held the two of them. The man patted her head and said, hey, I keep hearing strange noises. For some reason it just keeps haunting my mind. Xianwu seemed to understand. So that matter was a lie? His eyes grew colder. Why did you have to lie like that? Damn it, what on earth are you guys doing? Taehwan said to him, do you think this is a pure sect? How naive. He leaned closer to Xianwu, let me give you a gift before you cross over to the other side. Then, immediately, he lifted Xianwu up effortlessly with one hand and said, you must have realized by now, the Hell religion is no ordinary cult. In the darkness of that moment, a plan seemed to be in the making. The crazy cult leader possessed up to 3 special abilities. This was clearly a heresy created for a specific purpose. And that calculation came from Izum. At that time, Taehwan had heard Izum say with his own ears, our plan is still not enough, how can we attract more believers? He slyly turned around and asked, should we create Drug X? Hearing this, Xianwu's attention was immediately caught by Drug X, and he shouted, don't play around, how can you give such a thing to ordinary people? Hearing that, Taehwan held the knife firmly in his hand while explaining, our leader is truly a psychopath. He is absolutely insane, no matter how we advise him, they just won't stop. He continued, what do you think we did? We set up a coincidental opportunity. He recalled that back then, someone was advertising free food supplements to lure people. A girl standing nearby danced in support, promoting the trial event for the new product. On another side, another girl offered a worker a can of drink, saying, you've worked hard. Before long, those who became obsessed with the drug came knocking on the door of the Hell religion. At that time, the crowd waiting outside the door was extremely large. Following this, Taehwan raised the sword in his hand and said, hey, is this farewell gift to the other world enough for you? Right at that moment, something suddenly rolled from afar, successfully catching the attention of Taehwan and Xianwu. It was a coin. Taehwan also stared at the coin on the ground, feeling puzzled. A coin? At this very moment, Soan rushed out to grab the coin, her mouth still saying, it's fine. She turned to look at the two of them and asked, are you all right? What on earth are you? Taehwan panicked upon seeing this, shouting, how did you get in here? What are those mid-level believers doing? Even though Xianwu was being held up, he couldn't help but burst out laughing. Taehwan asked, what are you laughing at? Xianwu asked him back, hey, do you know that there are only 2 types of people who can see or touch the dead? He got angry, what the hell are you talking about? He continued, first are the people of hell. Then Xianwu looked straight into Taehwan's face, second are those who are about to die. He provoked him, seems like you belong to the second type, huh? When we cross the river Styx, I will guide you well. He angrily asked and threatened him, why should I die? Is there something wrong with your head? Or should I chop off your limbs first? Xianwu calmly reminded, watch your words, believer, Lord Yan Wang is watching. Taehwan said disdainfully, Yan Wang, if you're so tough, show yourself in front of me. Before he could finish his sentence, he turned his head to look. Yan Wang had actually appeared with towering killer intent. His eyes were deep as he ordered in a soft voice, put him down, now. Taehwan remained motionless. Then, he still tried to act tough, turning his head away, seriously. Oh my god, what can I say, who dares to order me around? Honestly. In the end, trembling with fear, he lowered Xianwu down, muttering, did I put him down because I was scared? Of course not, really. Taehwan gently brushed the dust off Xianwu's clothes. Oh dear, this place is so dusty, what should we do about this? He whispered to him, hey, you know the person behind me, right? That's your comrade, isn't it? Xianwu's eyes lit up as if he had realized something, so that's how it is. Taehwan hurriedly whispered, looking at their skills, they must be quite good at fighting, right? Stop laughing, please help me out. He asked in fear, I hit you, do you plan to tell them? Suddenly, Xianwu knelt down, coughed slightly, and then clutched his stomach, screaming in agony, leaving Taehwan standing nearby utterly confused. He quickly spoke up, hey, you're not planning something, are you? But Xianwu's screams completely drowned him out, oh my god, my stomach hurts so much. Then he rolled on the ground, clutching his stomach and writhing in agonizing pain, oh heavens, I'm dying. Taehwan seemed to want to scold him, hey, just a moment ago you were still. But before he could finish his sentence, Xianwu stopped him. Xianwu shouted, you bastard, you kicked me, insulted me, and then kicked me again. Hearing this, the man wondered to himself if he had really kicked that hard. Xianwu hastily grabbed Yan Wang's collar, Lord Yan Wang. He was knocked flat on the ground. He continued to groan, this guy beat me. But in his heart, he silently cursed, is this guy crazy? Taehwan panicked, looking at his own hands and saying, hey, get up quickly, you were perfectly fine just now. Isn't this a bit too much? Then Yan Wang grabbed his shoulder from behind. With a red, veiny face and surging murderous intent, he asked him, did you hit him? Taehwan quickly used his agile movements to escape and stood on the opposite side. He whispered, it couldn't be avoided, there's no other way. You will regret doing this. After that, he took off his mask and channeled his deep inner power, repent, black ink sword. Taehwan placed 2 fingers on the black ink on his forehead. Then, a giant wave of black ink appeared in midair, standing tall between the two of them. He slowly unleashed his shroud power, and that spot of ink transformed into the shape of a massive scorpion, with tiny glowing spots on its head. Yan Wang was quite surprised, summoning that thing from a drawing on the body? Immediately after, the scorpion rushed forward to attack him with immense power. However, with lightning-fast agility, he evaded all of it and even managed to slay the beast directly. Seeing this, Taehwan gritted his teeth in shock, impossible. That scorpion was as hard as steel, how could it be defeated so easily? Yan Wang slung his sword over his shoulder, calmly demanding, what's this? Bring out some more. Hearing those words, he actually created another giant bird from that ink stain. Taehwan roared in anger, do not look down on me. The black bird immediately surrounded him, and the clash between the two sides created a hazy screen of smoke and mist. Taehwan stood outside quietly observing, then roared, let's see how you escape this. Black ink sword, finish him. The bird then spread its massive wings and plunged rapidly toward the target below. The impact created an earth-shattering tremor. Taehwan thought to himself, it hit, yet his eyes still carried a trace of anxiety, wondering if it would work. There was a slight movement from the bird, and a moment later, a sword tip emerged from the center of it. Yan Wang slashed the body of the black ink bird to pieces, standing tall and firm between heaven and earth. That scene left Taehwan unable to believe his eyes. What? He continued to manifest his power. Right after that, a pack of wolves made of black ink marks attacked him. Yan Wang did not flinch, decisively charging straight into the center. His steady steps trampled them one by one, each decisive sword strike ending the life of each black ink wolf. Standing aside, Taehwan became extremely furious, unable to bear it anymore in his mind. Damn it, if that is the case, this is the only way left. He stared intently at him, and Yan Wang's eyes seemed to see hope. He thought to himself, that is it, the clues are gradually coming together. He thought of Lu Jiao, that abnormal substance that could impair cognitive awareness, and then of the prospective believers, the reason why they craved it so much. Finally, the image of Autumn taking the drug, that medicine was indeed. Afterward, Yan Wang looked back at Taehwan's life force and confirmed, it was indeed life force. His eyes dimmed, finally understanding why humans were so easily deluded. Yan Wang immediately associated each image, from fictional to realistic, to explain it. First was the image of the appearing life force. In human terms, life force is a pure energy that humans call excitement. When they inhale the life force, it is as if the source of life is pumped directly into their bodies. In other words, they will be forced to become happy. This time, it was the image of a sad, weak person becoming stronger and more excited. Finally, there was the image of a person's light-hearted joy while the drug's effect was still in their body. No matter what happens, humans will feel happy, and sadness and despair will disappear. Yan Wang still stared intently at Taehwan. Seeing the gloom surrounding him, he asked himself, "But what about after that? When the drug's effect wears off, what will happen?" Once humans have tasted experiencing happiness without any effort or price to pay. At this moment, he seemed to understand it all. They would never be able to feel happy on their own again. Yan Wang thought of the state of those drug addicts, those who had become addicted, whose final destination was having no way back. The image of a sad woman appeared in his mind, who believed that no one would listen to her. She was always worried about her husband, wondering if her husband would ever return. But as for the husband, he was in the midst of a hallucination, thinking he was feeling very happy, ending his normal life. Right at this moment, from deep within Taehwan's eyes, a strange coldness emerged. After connecting all the dots, Yan Wang guessed that perhaps Bat Fa was the source of life force. Was he being used? He blurted out a curse, "Damn it." Taehwan on the opposite side stood up and roared fiercely. Yan Wang calmly said, "Even if you inhale the life force." He stopped and spun around in mid-air. He rushed toward him and said with a tone of contempt, "Do you think you can defeat me?" The guy gritted his teeth and cursed him, "You monster." Taehwan struggled to roar fiercely, "What on earth are you?" A plume of white smoke shot straight toward him. Yan Wang tore through the smoke and softly replied, "Well, try to guess?" He was as fast as lightning, swinging his sword high. The tip of the sword stopped right before the guy's throat. Yan Wang said, "You are a high-level believer, aren't you? So you must know a lot of things. Spit out everything you know." Taehwan was now cornered under his sword. He shouted, "Hey, even though I look like this, I know how to keep my mouth shut. Do you think I will obediently listen to you?" Yan Wang gently pushed the sword forward a bit, making Taehwan turn pale. Showing a sinister face, he said, "Don't worry, interrogation is my specialty." The high-ranking believer replied with a trembling voice, "I understand, I will tell you everything I know." But just a moment later, he changed his attitude and spoke in a different tone. "Did you think I would really say that? If one is a departed soul, their ability will be enhanced, did you know that?" Next, he waved his hand while explaining, "After all, the shroud is originally something used by the dead, so it will become much stronger." Hearing this, he was slightly surprised. No matter how hard you try, you are only. Next, Yan Wang's feet stepped off the ground. He immediately fell into confusion. Is his body being lifted up? In his heart, he was a bit wary, with only this much power. The high-level believer calmly asked, "What's wrong? Do you feel anything strange?" His hand clenched into a fist, continuously launching strikes. The high-level believer's direction of attack was aimed straight at Yan Wang. He was stunned by the scene before him and blurted out, "You bastard." Next, Yan Wang's sword swung wildly in the air. But then he stopped and thought, "I didn't hit him?" Yan Wang's eyes widened in surprise, "No way." And then, while wielding his sword, he roared in anger. Seeing the blue light enveloping his body, Yan Wang was a bit panicked. On the other side, the high-level believer's eyes narrowed slightly. His tone carried arrogance. "My ability will be enhanced when converting into a departed soul by reducing my weight." Red lights flickered continuously. "For anyone who has destroyed my summoned object, each time it is broken, my body weight will be cut in half." In the distance, his figure was encountering obstacles. His mind visualized a calculation model. Assuming his weight is 70 kilograms, after breaking it twice, his current weight is only 17.5 kilograms, which is equivalent to a 5-year-old child. The eyes of the high-level believer grew more and more crazed. To use sword techniques, one must stand firmly on the ground, utilizing all the joints and muscles in the body. A puppet illusion silently appeared in his mind. People often mistake sword techniques as relying solely on physical ability and the sharpness of the sword, but body weight also plays an important part. The sharp swords radiated a bright aura. Looking at the shape of the sword he was using, one could estimate its weight to be around 500 grams to 1.5 kilograms. The more he thought, the crazier he became. When a human holds and swings a sword, it becomes a weapon, but what if a balloon holds and swings it? Looking at him from afar, the high-level believer concluded that in just a few more times, his combat ability would completely disappear. On this side, Yan Wang himself fell into disorganized thoughts. He had originally intended to beat him to a pulp and then control him, but this ability was more troublesome than he thought. What should he do? His face looked contemplative as he assessed the situation. The opponent was not some formidable figure worthy of using soul separation. However, his own technique had a very wide range, and with just a slight slip, others would also be dragged into it. Suddenly, the high-level believer spoke with great excitement. "Where is your imposing manner from earlier?" Yan Wan, while dodging, cursed. "You idiot, I am going easy on you." The other burst into laughter with great amusement. "Still talking tough, are we?" Yan Wan's footsteps moved faster and faster. In just a brief moment, he appeared right in front of the high-level believer with a weapon in his hand. The opponent once again used a technique to create white fog. White glowing spots resembling clouds gradually began to appear all around. Seeing this, he analyzed that those summoned creatures were no different from a defensive wall. He seemed quite proficient in this ability, truly a troublesome opponent. The high-level believer slammed his hand hard onto the ground, unleashing the black ink sword. Without stopping, he combined it with the black bird technique. The battle between the two grew more and more intense. The high-level believer's eyes bloodshot with intense veins. The outcome of this battle is already clear. If you try to slash me, you will lose your ability to fight. Just as he spoke, Yan Wang's hand was raised to block the strike. But if you only block it, you will die. The high-level believer, confident in his own ability, declared. After defeating you, it will be that guy's turn. At the same time, Xianwu fell into deep thought before the scene in front of him. Keep being arrogant just because this guy came to help you, you bastard, I will burn you alive. He let out a sinister smile and announced, I will turn you into life force, to store for a long time. But then, the cold voice of Yan Wang echoed, what on earth are you guys doing? He slowly stood up and spoke sarcastically, using life force as medicine, luring humans, and then using them as sacrifices, aren't you guys human too? Yan Wang's voice could not hide his resentment. Because of worshipping Yan Wang, this place is called the Hell Religion, and yet you guys. That scene kept lingering inside his head. Inside that thing is a sacrifice, quickly give me drug X. Next, Yan Wang's eyes showed clear bloodshot lines. He growled, it seems you guys are not afraid of going to hell, are you? The tone of the man opposite had not a single shred of fear. He challenged, hell? I've been a believer for a long time, and I've never seen anyone afraid of hell. The high-level believer still did not notice the drops of blood rolling down his dark red skin. That phrase kept echoing in Yan Wang's head, the truth. His hand reached up, crushing the surrounding space. Yan Wang spoke coldly, I thought you believed in me, so I planned to go easy on you. Who would have thought it would turn out like this? Yan Wang swung a powerful blow, not forgetting to curse, you scum. Drug X, these are the things that are rotting this society. The opponent was drenched in cold sweat by his overwhelming aura. If even a high-level believer like him was like this, there was no need to look at the rest to know their fate. Finally, Yan Wang completely blackened. He declared, from now on, the Hell Religion, everyone is a sinner. Dark blue light, like sinister ropes, began to manifest. The high-level believer retreated backward while trembling, sinner. His figure flickered amidst the raging fire. The high-level believer still tried to justify himself and shouted, don't be ridiculous, do you think you are Yan Wang? Is this space your ability? I will destroy it. His hand trembled as he activated the black ink sword technique. The expanding smoke began to cover all line of sight. The high-level believer stood there, continuously using his ability. He used a fierce tone to cover up his own fear. Let's see how you deal with this quantity. I will carve it deep into your very bones. After a while, everything ended, and his body went stiff. His ultimate technique was stopped, but the high-level believer did not halt and continued to use the black ink sword for an all-out attack. Facing him, Yan Wang was completely unaffected and calmly said, "Dealing with this quantity." He asked back sarcastically, "Is this all you've got?" Yan Wang's majestic body moved towards him. His eyes gleamed with murderous intent as he activated the Karma Mirror skill, seeing through all the summoned creatures. 1. His skills grew more numerous by the second. My minions, Black Rope Huiyan, bind the enemy. Yan Wang attempted to suppress it. Do not resist, obey your master at once. 2. A black rope was chaining the falcon illusion, 10,000 black chains. Its body was being violently torn back and forth. 3. A terrifying scene unfolded in the sky. The high-level believer looked up in shock. What on earth? 4. Yan Wang stood controlling the chains and asked back, "You once asked who I am, didn't you?" His voice, cold and filled with killing intent, introduced, "I am the very Yan Wang you worship." 5. Hearing that name, Taehuan widened his eyes. Lord Yan Wang? Yan Wang's expression was extremely solemn, without a single hint of jest. In the blink of an eye, he appeared right behind him. He trembled all over. Oh no, from behind. Yan Wang's eyes bled a horrifyingly long streak of blood. The karma mirror, the vibration frequency was within his sight. In his mind, and now he only needed to. He rushed forward, subduing him so that he could not budge. Yan Wang used his finger to strike Taehuan's pressure points. A burst of energy was released, godly dharma, no vibration. He struggled frantically, to the point where the veins on his forehead bulged. What's happening? Why can't my body move? Not only that, sweat droplets were splashing. Everything within a 2-meter radius was stopped. Yan Wang sneered, the technique rendering his opponent motionless in an instant. Mujin. This is a secret technique combined from 2 Vajra indestructible palms, using vibration to attack. He extended his hands trembling, then clenched his hand into a tight fist. Taehuan could not help but curse. You bastard, this secret technique cannot be evaded. Another realm, transcending the ordinary. Flapping wings, breaking the chains. Yan Wang rushed forward, delivering a punch toward him. The fatal blow landed, causing him extreme pain, as if a white egret appeared, Mujin Bikro. Yan Wang's eyes seemed to see something terrifying. On the mat, it was written, Mujin Bikro, vibrationless white bones. Taehuan seemed to lose all his weight, his entire body floating as sweat poured off him continuously. The energy sources on his body were released just like that, causing a hazy, illusory mist to appear. He slowly stepped forward and growled, "Don't pretend to be unconscious, I already held back my strength." He looked down at him. "Where is your cult leader?" On the other side, heavy sighs echoed. Izum spoke up, "For now, they won't be able to get here. No one uses this place anymore." He panted wearily, "I'm so exhausted, it's been a long time since I've run this much." Jiyu wondered, was the person who just attacked me the cult leader? He replied, "Yes, that's right." Jiyu asked curiously, "Why did you save me? Aren't you the twin sister of the cult leader here?" He said hurriedly, "My younger sibling is exploiting everyone through this cult." Izum continued, "To profit from drug X, those addicted to the drug are all used as sacrificial offerings." Jiyu was shocked, then that incineration, could it be? He bowed, "It is not just that. It even uses the ashes of the sacrificed people to manufacture the drug." He said in despair that drug X contains life force, and the raw material for it is actually human beings. Jiyu was utterly shell-shocked, covering her mouth. "Oh my god." Izum was on the verge of collapsing. "How is this any different from a senseless massacre? I can no longer bear to watch this." He grabbed Jiyu's hand. "I saw on CCTV, you came with Yan Wang, right? Please help me." He was practically begging. Many people have had to sacrifice themselves without even knowing it, yet they were still blindly dragged into this hell religion. His tears slowly fell as they abandoned their families, gave up on friends, and even discarded their own children. Izum screamed, "This can't be, this cannot go on any longer." Jiyu curiously asked, "The believers?" Izum's tears poured down like rain. "Please, stop my younger sister." On the other side, Ojang helplessly wiped away her tears. "Damn it, what is getting into my eyes?" She sighed, "It hurts so much, will this ridiculous act convince anyone?" Deep inside, she only hoped the sparks wouldn't fly onto her. From the other side, a voice rang out, "I will take on the role of the mastermind." Ojang was shocked. "You? The mastermind?" Izum replied, "Yes, I will be the shameless cult leader of hell." She retorted, "Outrageous. No, what are you planning to do?" Izam replied, "I will take on the role of the 12 armors." He continued, "Pretend to side with Yen Wang, then attack Yen Wang from behind while he is trying to harm you." In her heart, in her paintings, there were always smiling faces. Ojang thought, looking at it always sent shivers down the spine. She asked, "What if we are discovered?" He replied, "That is why you will seduce his subordinates first." Compared to Yen Wang, approaching his subordinates will be much easier. She worried, "In the end, you still have to face Yen Wang. Didn't you see him shatter the dimension recently?" "I cannot do it, it is too terrifying." Zam's face turned bright red, but then he let out a long sigh. "Sister." I lowered my head anxiously. How could my sister ever harm me? Ojang thought to herself, suddenly, Izum asked, "Besides, you still owe me, don't you?" Izum whispered close to Ojang's ear, "So be obedient and do as I say. For that is the very reason you exist." Returning to reality, Ojang was tormented, trying to forget all those nonsense thoughts. As long as there are no issues, everything will go according to plan. She thought wearily, she said that as long as I do what she says, she will give me a chance to escape. A terrifying thought flashed through her mind, could she really be planning to kill me? On the other side, Izum said, "We must kill her at all costs." Jiyu wondered, "Are you really going to kill your own younger sister?" He replied, "Yes, absolutely no mercy." In her heart was Zek Kui. Compared to Xian Wu, he is completely different. If we talk about cruelty, he casually uttered the words to kill his own younger sister so normally. But then suddenly, a frantic knocking echoed from the outside, accompanied by chaotic noises. A loud voice demanded, "What is going on? Is anyone inside? Could she be in there? Bring the key here quickly." He screamed in panic, "What? Have they already made it this far? They are definitely looking for you." Zam hurriedly instructed, "If you meet Yen Wang, please pass on my message. My younger sister is the most evil among the wicked, she must be punished." Jiyu asked in confusion, "What are you planning to do?" He replied, "I am a member of the Hell religion, I will stay behind to buy some time." "Good luck." Saying that, the two embraced, and she finally nodded in agreement. "Yes, all right." He immersed himself in his own delusion, muttering, "The message must be delivered to Lord Yen Wang." But then he suddenly paused, wondering in his mind, what on earth is this smell? She instructed, she would definitely deliver the words to Lord Yen Wang. The last thing she wanted to say was to burn everything to the ground. Having said that, she turned around, preparing to leave. Suddenly, a cold hand was placed on her shoulder. Izum called Jiyu back. "Wait." He almost questioned her, why did she have the scent of mint on her? Jiyu sensed something unusual. A terrifying killing intent was clinging to her body. She immediately pushed that hand away and screamed, "Who are you?" Izum replied, "Who am I?" His face had completely lost its color. He widened his eyes at her, "I should be the one asking that question." He stared straight into Jiyu's eyes and demanded, "Could it be that you are the descended one?" Immediately, he transformed into a tall, giant figure. On the other side, a mournful cry suddenly echoed. "Please pretend you didn't see us, please. I want to go home, I beg of you, Lord." Yen Wang spoke up in utter helplessness, "I already told you I am not a believer of this cult." Yet they continued to cry and wail loudly, "I swear I won't say a word about the cult." He could only try his best to push them away. "Let go of them, my pants are about to fall off, let go of me quickly." They kept begging, "Please, I beg you, please save me. I will quit the drug, I don't want to be burned alive." In his mind, he thought about what the high-level believer had said, that the cult leader was plotting something. Right now, the leader was busy, but he couldn't just abandon the people who had just woken up after being poisoned. What should he do now? Suddenly, a hand gently caressed their heads, indicating everything was fine. Someone pointed at herself. Someone asked curiously, "Wait, isn't that the girl who was captured with us? I thought she was dead after being taken away by the cult leader." They excitedly cheered, "Is this person going to save us? Are we safe now?" She was also extremely excited. "It is okay," they are continuing. "Are we about to be saved?" In his heart, he thought they had calmed down. Luckily he had brought Chana along. The joy did not last long when suddenly a series of walls collapsed, debris flying everywhere. They screamed in fear, "What is happening?" Yan Wang panicked, "What is that? This blue light, it feels like Bat Fa, no, even more than that." In his heart, he wondered what was on the other side of the wall. He requested Xian Wo to take these people out quickly. Xian Wu wondered, "What? But they can't see me?" He continued, "Going with Chana will be fine." He instructed, "Go to the funeral association and ask Debay about Chana. Perhaps he doesn't even know who Chana is." He hesitated, "Lord Yan Wang." He said, "If you complete this mission, I will transmit more life force to extend Zekqui's life. He seems to have much more spirit." "Let's go, Jian Chan, take everyone to safety." "Jian Chan, let me go with you." Yan Wang muttered, "Xianwu, I won't give you too much." After all, in his heart, it was indeed a protective barrier. He thought it covered this entire church, with the interior space expanded and turned into a maze. In his heart, Yan Wang felt anxious, still unable to contact Jiyu. As expected, that feeling earlier was clearly related to Jiyu. He muttered that the thing on the other side of the protective barrier felt so bizarre, to the point of making him think of that bastard. He fell into deep thought. Before something terrible happened, he had to go find Jiyu. Yan Wang threw a punch, though doing this was a bit rude, but he aimed straight at the fence, there was no other choice. On the other side, a source of energy was released. Right in front of him was the scene of Ojang standing before someone. A voice suddenly rang out, "Sister." Izum questioned, "Why are you here?" His gaze carried a venomous malice, while her neck seemed to be choked tightly by someone. Izum growled, "How troublesome. I asked why on earth you are here. Weren't you supposed to be fighting Yan Wang?" She replied, "It seems Lord Yan Wang has noticed our existence. He is breaking the barrier and heading this way." Izum questioned himself, "Did I expose too much of my power? I lost control because of my anger. What about the barrier?" Shilu Manshao replied, "One has just been destroyed, there are 199 left." He immediately ordered, "Continue to hold him back." Understood. He further instructed, "Remember the plan to impersonate the cult leader. Of course, when Lord Yan Wang arrives, stall for as much time as possible." Oh, John wondered, "Is that a sacrifice? What are you planning to do?" Wai Zam replied, "I just thought of something better than killing Lord Yan Wang." Wai Zam warned, "Make sure you stall properly until I am done, understand?" Oh, Zhang tried to protest, but Lord Yan Wang already captured Bat Fa, that terrifying monster. Wai Zam interrupted, "So what?" Wai Zam's face turned frightening. "You also witnessed with your own eyes how I subdued Bat Fa, didn't you? You once gathered life force for others out of fear, so what are you afraid of now?" Oh, Zhang fell to the side, coughing violently. Wai Zam turned and walked away. "You still remember that your life is in my hands, don't you? And you owe me from back when we were still humans, right? It is time to pay me back. Risk your life with me, little sister." She sat in front of the door with a blank expression. On the other side, Shilu Manshao seemed to be doing something. He spoke cautiously, "Lord Ojang, Lord Yan Wang is breaking through the protective barriers to get here. There are 150 protective barriers left. He continued to report, the breaking speed is getting faster and faster. Only 110 left, now 80 left. She muttered to herself, oh John, oh John. When they were young, Wizam said with tears streaming down his face, the adults said we must die, do you think so too? He continued to shout, only 40 left. Deep down, Oh Jung thought, fine, no matter what you do. It has nothing to do with me, Shilu Manshao said slowly. Only 20 seconds left, the final protective barrier is breaking. The wall nearby suddenly cracked open. With a determined look on her face, she thought, I owe her a life, now it's time to pay it back. On the other side, Izam walked along the dark path. At first, he thought that was Jiang Lin. He recalled the scene of Jiyu with startled eyes. Her body exuded a gentle scent of mint, accompanied by extraordinary physical capabilities. Her angry expression surfaced in his mind. An unyielding will, all of these were omens of the descent. The ultimate goal, in the end, was that 12 armors. In his heart, he wondered, did Bat Fa realize it? No, he was probably completely unaware. That oversized guy must have overlooked everything, thinking it was just like meeting an old comrade. He told himself he absolutely could not let himself be fooled, so Izam abandoned his initial plan. He gently opened the sack. Since you are not the descended one, would Lord Yan Wang recognize it? Yan Wang appeared from behind the ruins. He cast his eyes around the room, only to see Oh Zhang and him standing there in a daze. He asked, where is Jiyu? Zam raised his hand high, expressionless, and delivered a thunderous slap straight to Jiyu's beautiful face. She let out a soft groan and looked up. Zam's lips were tightly pursed, his eyes filled with murderous intent. Jiyu, just waking up, looked around, where is this? Zam did not hesitate to reply, this is the execution ground. He lifted Jiyu's chin with his hand, you. Then, Zam's eyes radiated a faint murderous intent, his voice turning colder, you are not Jiang Lin, are you? Standing before this monster full of killing intent, Jiyu carefully probed, what are you talking about? Are you really the cult leader? Prepare yourself, because Lord Yan Wang will punish you. Zam delivered another sharp slap to her face. He roared in fury, blue veins bulging across his face. I smell peppermint. At first, I thought it was Jiang Lin, that bastard, but your soul is entirely different. Jiang Lin? No, I sense a soul even lower than that of a human. Ziyu closed one eye in pain, muttering, damn it, what on earth are you talking about? Explain it so I can understand. Those words seemed to have worn away the last shred of Zam's patience. He barked, answer my question. Channeling all his strength into his leg, he kicked hard against the sack binding Jiyu. Not stopping there, Zam grabbed the wooden plank bound together with Jiyu. He pressed down with immense force, making the surrounding space tremble. Suppressed, Jiyu was tied up like a cylindrical sticky rice cake, unable to resist, only able to passively accept her fate. Zam looked at her miserable state and spoke, actually, at first, I planned to deceive you to clear my identity. But because of the mint scent in your brain, the whole plan was ruined. He grabbed her hair violently, since things have turned out like this, the only way is to change the plan. His angry voice echoed continuously, I must expose the true identity inside your brain, and win the favor of Lord Yan Wang. Ziyu tried to calm down and assess the current situation. Was all of this bizarre situation really because of the mint scent? Zam's face at this moment was as cold as if falling into an ice cellar, his tone also chilling significantly, why is there a mint scent on you? Those words reminded her of what Niolong once said. The hair color was also the same, and there was a faint scent of mint. Confusing thoughts constantly swirled in Jiyu's mind. The Lord had also mentioned that before. What does the mint scent have to do with Jiang Lin that you keep saying that? That is just Lord Yan Wang's body scent. I only live together with him, so... Zam replied with impatience, it seems you are misunderstanding something. The mint scent is actually Jiang Lin's body scent. That is why I am asking you, what is your true identity? He kept muttering to himself, the reason why the mint scent comes from Lord Yan Wang's body is... Damn it! How on earth did you obtain that body? Did you steal it? That's impossible. She thought for a moment and replied, I am a human, Li Jiyu, who happened to catch Lord Yan Wang's attention. Wai Zam quickly interrupted, You are a human. He stared intently at Jiyu. Do you mean you were born after someone stepped on a belly? That question flustered her, making her stammer without being able to form words. That. Wai Zam continuously bombarded her with questions. Do you have childhood memories? Have you experienced the ups and downs that humans go through in life? See, you can't even answer that. He growled again, questioning, Who gave you your name? Why did you become a protector monk? Don't tell me that was your dream, was it? The figure of Samshin suddenly appeared in Jiyu's mind. It's okay, you are safe now. Back then, she smiled and said, Your name is Li Jiyu. Samshin widened her eyes in surprise. You want to become a protector monk? With a puzzled look, she asked, There are many other professions, why this? At that time, Jiyu just clutched her hat tightly without uttering a single word. Snapping out of her reminiscence, she felt a bit panicked now, having never thought deeply about it. Unanswered questions rushed in like a tide. Why was I found in the lake? Why was mother chasing Dongfang Shuo? And then Jiyu became extremely bewildered. Although she had doubts about her origins, her upbringing, or her background, she did not try to find out. In that memory, a streak of light shot down from above, preventing her from escaping her train of thought. She knew that the deeper she dug into her true identity, the worse things would become. Xianwu stood listening to the fishmonger saying that the woman had just torn raw fish apart to eat it. That savage, beast-like behavior made her feel further and further removed from the person that was Li Jiyu. Her bloodthirsty appearance flashed in an instant, as Jiyu licked the syrup lingering on her wrist. Unsatisfied with this silence and the previous answer, Wai Zam began to physically assault her relentlessly. Despite taking quite a beating, Jiyu still resolutely maintained her silence. A blazing fire erupted in his hand. He growled, Even if you keep your mouth shut, the truth is about to be revealed anyway. I have a power that is perfect to use right now. She closed her eyes tightly, turning her head away as if accepting her fate. Wai Zam revealed his villainous face and said, Finally, burn it all down. Back to Yen Wang, he was standing amidst the ruins. Yen Wang asked in a cold, clear voice, Where is Jiyu? Oh Zhang bowed deeply, her tone full of respect. Long time no see, Lord Yen Wang. She added, My name is Jiago Zhang, a subordinate of the current great Yen Wang. Oh Zhang raised her head to look at him. She was the leader of the Hell religion cult. She declared solemnly, Although I do not know why you came here, you cannot pass through this gate. Paying no attention to that, Yen Wang thought to himself, It seems Jiyu is behind that gate. At that moment, I felt that guy was also behind the protective barrier. He raised his voice in suspicion, So, you are the leader of the Hell religion. Immediately, Yen Wang entered combat mode. You will have to take responsibility for those words. As soon as the words left his mouth, his figure instantly vanished before the two of them. The masked man panicked, Hey, Lord Yen Wang has disappeared. He turned around and asked, My lord, what should we do now? What? Has Lord Ojang vanished as well? His head broke out in sweat, unable to comprehend what was happening. What on earth is going on? A shockwave came out of nowhere, shattering the mask he was wearing. It was Yen Wang and Ojang, the two of them engaging in a one-on-one duel. Her speed caught him slightly off guard. See this guy? Block him before he draws his sword. Ojang's attack was cleanly blocked by the sword hilt. She kicked hard with great force. I am sorry, but I must also do my best. Spinning around in an instant, she said, Please excuse my rudeness. This attack carried unbelievable power, instantly forcing Yen Wang to retreat. Seeing her strength, he couldn't help but be wary. She was stronger than expected. Yen Wang gripped his sword tightly, almost dropping it. Not one to back down, he began to gather his strength and counterattack, but Ojang managed to dodge. In Yen Wang's hand, a small red and black sphere condensed, the karma fire. She was not to be outdone either, quickly responding with ice step. In the quiet space of the night, everything seemed to fall into a deep sleep. A series of crashing sounds suddenly shattered that tranquil atmosphere. Yan Wang appeared immediately after, with the sword never leaving his hand. He couldn't help but speak his mind. 12 armors, haven't you weakened to the level of a human? Oh Zhang immediately answered that question. Not all of the 12 armors were abandoned, some were granted that power by Lord Long La. Yan Wang's face showed a flash of annoyance. This Lord Long La really does whatever he wants. She lowered her body, preparing to leap for round 2. And depending on the case, there are those who are even stronger than the former subordinates of Lord Yan Wang, just like this little girl here. Oh Zhang's figure rushed forward like an unstoppable arrow, speed and dim light flickering around Oh Zhang's body. Her hair transformed into a platinum blonde color, and her speed seemed to increase by several folds. Oh Zhang's legs moved faster and faster, leaving behind afterimages. A swift kick was quickly unleashed by her, but it was easily caught by Yan Wang. Without panicking, she spun her body and leaped straight backward. His voice rang out, making her momentarily startled. Are my subordinates weak? Killing intent faintly leaked from around Yan Wang's body, only now did he truly enter the game. Yan Wang angrily said, Who do you think you are to talk such nonsense? Witnessing Yan Wang's no longer concealed killing intent, she now. Yan Wang was visibly shaken. A sharp slash was aimed right at Oh Zhang's face, but with her flexible body, she managed to dodge it. Not staying still, Oh Zhang immediately retaliated with a powerful kick. This move successfully left a wound on Yan Wang's face. After fighting for a while, she thought in disbelief, What? He can keep up with my speed? Damn it, what on earth is Lord Yan Wang made of? Oh Zhang used her high heel to lock Yan Wang's arm, preventing him from moving. Then, she kicked hard, sending his chest backward. Countless kicks were thrown relentlessly. Yan Wang's arm also swung up to block those strikes. The two were evenly matched, and neither would back down. The collision between the moves they unleashed created a shockwave that scattered around. Yan Wang thought to himself, she is too strong, placing her entire focus on speed during combat. He recalled how she parried his sword, blocking the strike even before he could channel his strength into the weapon. She then unleashed a sequence of rapid attacks that was incredibly dense. The dangerous figure of Oh Zhang appeared in Yan Wang's eyes, and he carefully analyzed her attacks. Furthermore, Yan Wang seemed to struggle a bit against this opponent. Every strike carried killing intent, forcing him to retreat a great distance. He imagined a scene of thousands of soldiers and horses, feeling as if he were facing hundreds of spearmen at the same time. His gaze gradually grew sharper. After a moment of analyzing the situation, Yan Wang finally realized his opponent's weakness. Her attack was too simple. Oh Zhang fell into a panic. He caught her ankle. How could he be so fast? It was unavoidable. She struggled, trying to escape the restraint. But Yan Wang would not easily let his prey escape. He used his strength to fling her down onto the cold ground. Oh Zhang took the full blow and coughed up blood, her eyes wide with astonishment. Escaping the restraint, she immediately leaped backward several meters. Those legs of hers were now trembling slightly. Oh Zhang's entire body emitted a strange, pure white mist. Yan Wang silently assessed, she doesn't fight badly, has good endurance, and is extremely fast, but this person cannot possibly be the cult leader. He was a bit wary, sensing a tempest-like aura behind that door. Yan Wang tightly gripped the sword in his hand. The real cult leader was definitely inside. The true battle would begin in there. I cannot waste any more time. Just launching one powerful blow to incapacitate her will be enough. Her head was dripping with sweat. Lord Yan Wang's aura had changed. Was he planning to end it with the next move? But what kind of strike was it? Cutting off her train of thought, a sword flew rapidly right before Oh Zhang's eyes. Fortunately, she reacted quickly and dodged this attack. Oh Zhang's mind raced. He let go of his weapon, but why? Yan Wang solemnly clenched his hands into a fist to condense something. A red light enveloped Yan Wang's fist. Seizing the opportunity, Oh Zhang rushed forward like a moth to a flame. So that was it. He is preparing for his final move, but isn't he underestimating me too much? At this speed, I can approach him before the technique is completed. The sword suddenly appeared out of nowhere, with reverse rising fire charging straight towards where Ojang was standing. Ojang's eyes widened in shock upon seeing this. He was charging straight at her. She stood in a dilemma. If she continued to attack here, she would be pierced through, but if she changed direction to dodge, she would take the full hit of the completed technique. Yan Wang remained expressionless, calmly gathering his energy as if everything was within his calculations. She bitterly realized it was a trap. Damn it, a trap! Even if she took the ultimate move, she would absolutely not let the sword pierce through. Drops of syrup splattered in the air, so that was it, Lord Yan Wang. The sword stabbed straight into Ojang's back, but at the same time, she kicked Yan Wang straight in the face. This attack was certainly unexpected for him. He was caught off guard by this single strike, damn it. His body flew through the air, crashing through a series of walls and leaving behind a pile of ruins. After a moment, Yan Wang managed to regain his balance and stopped himself, though he was also quite injured at this point. Yan Wang closed one eye and forced out a word. An attack that completely disregards your own body, reckless yet fatal. I remember now, you... The sword fell to the ground along with the words, your position is spear, the one who always charges ahead first, never hesitating to break through all obstacles, the spear of destruction, said Ojang. Unlike his battered appearance, she still stood proud as if she had not suffered a single wound. To Lord Yan Wang, I may just be a sinner. That stubborn voice kept echoing, but I will give it my all, because I owe him a life. The flag fluttered in the wind, evoking memories that did not want to be remembered. The emotionless man stood watching. Beneath his feet was the body. Numerous wounds covered the small body of a child. Back then, Ojang could only cry out in protest. Hasn't the elder beaten him enough already? Why is my younger brother the only one treated this way? Tears streamed down his cheeks along with heartbreaking words. Is it just because his hair color is different? Or because of his different skin tone? How could you treat him like that over such trivial reasons? Ojang stood before that man, screaming in despair, answer me, father. The man just stood there, silently watching everything unfold. From his tightly clenched fists, drop after drop of red syrup fell. Debt. He glared and gave his answer, a debt must be paid. Returning to the present, those words seemed engraved in her mind, which was also the reason why she risked her life like that. The high heels were carefully removed from her feet by Ojang. Father was right, a debt must be repaid. Ojang closed her eyes tightly as if compromising with fate. Her bare feet standing in the cold of the dark night did not waver in the slightest. Her legs began to glow. Stepping on evil, ice step. Then Ojang's entire body transformed once again, her shimmering hair color appearing once more. This commotion immediately caught the attention of Yan Wang. I smell smoke from the other side, what is happening over there? From inside the gate, white smoke constantly poured out, Jiyu was in danger. Ojang rushed forward at a speed that was hard to catch with the naked eye. A second later, she arrived right in front of Yan Wang, preparing for a new round. Yan Wang thought carefully. She has become faster, just one slip up and I will lose. He took a defensive stance and mapped out a strategy. Block her first, then counterattack later. The two clashed intensely once again. Ojang, as if pumped with adrenaline, threw a kick at him. But Yan Wang remained extremely calm. I must block it from this distance. Ojang was confident in her victory. My ice step ability is to strike first and gain the upper hand. No matter how Lord Yan Wang acts, my attack will always land first. She just locked onto her target and unleashed her skills. This is my chance, while he still doesn't know about this ability. Unsure of what he was thinking, he just stood there and let her kick him repeatedly. Ojang became more and more hot-blooded, executing a rapid dash lethal kick that left a trail of blood splattering as a backdrop. Only now did he speak up, a preemptive strike? Is that the ice step ability? This immediately threw her into a panic as her body couldn't move at all. Contrary to his opponent's urgency, Yan Wang remained strangely calm. Apologies, but I am also giving my all here. I will take your bones in exchange for flesh. He switched to serious mode, preparing to hand out a beating, Vajra indestructible poem. Let's stop here, I still have to go rescue Jiyu. Seeing this state of Yan Wang, Zhang immediately grew terrified, screaming internally. He took his stance, preparing to end the match with a single strike, Bikro, Mujin. Returning to Izum, he spoke up, wearing the shell of the Descended One and deceiving Lord Yan Wang. If possible, I would like to wear that shell too. Izum questioned, anyway, if the body of the Descended One is here, then where is the soul? He looked at the unconscious body of Jiyu and could not help but feel suspicious. That voice rang out again, no, more importantly, why is it split into two? Memories suddenly flooded back like a torrent in his mind. According to what he knew, only that thing could separate the soul and the body. Could the disappearance of the Descended One be related to the long-bearded old man? At this moment, many tents were set up in the desolate land, the cold wind blowing the flags on top of the tents. Izum was suddenly swept into his memories of the past. He groaned softly, it really hurts. Zhang beside him patiently said, endure a little longer, little brother, it is almost done. She spoke in a voice full of concern, it is no longer bleeding. For now, I will apply horse ointment, it will help ease the pain a bit. Her warm voice continued to echo, I am sorry, during this battle, this is all I can do. Does it hurt a lot? Do you need your ankle bandaged as well? The little Izum could only ask naively at this moment, Zhang, why does father hate me? He continued, is it because my hair is not like theirs? Or is it because of this body, no matter how hard I train, my muscles just won't grow? The endless questions kept pouring out, or is it because my eyes are different from our tribe? Is that why father assigned you to fight, while I am only allowed to herd sheep? Zhang hastily reassured him, sheep are the symbol of our tribe, that task is also very important. He looked at my own body in wonder, but the village elders say I am disgusting and unpleasant. I didn't get to choose how I was born, so why can't they just leave me alone? Why was I even born? Zhang replied, in a land far away, they say that if someone is born with white hair and skin like yours, they will be worshipped as a good omen, like a deity. Zam spoke up in doubt, am I a deity? She nodded, just like the two-legged sheep our tribe believes in. So don't be too sad, you are not strange at all. It's just that the war has made everything chaotic, and recently many sheep have died unusually, so father is very worried. As if comforted, Zam turned his head in another direction and changed the subject, how is everything progressing? Zhang's face showed embarrassment, they only needed to capture one more place to finish, but the situation was not very promising. Then she continued, the enemy had built earthen walls and defended them, which were too high for our horses to cross. Zhang's eyes flashed with an indescribable sadness. If they could not find a way to break through those protective barriers, she feared it would be very difficult to set foot on their homeland again, Great Father said. Speaking of this, Zam suddenly interrupted her, saying that he would perform a rain-seeking ritual. Zhang replied in surprise, a rain-seeking ritual, meaning a ceremony to pray for rain? He spoke nonchalantly, saying that to break the enemy's defense line, he said they needed a living sacrifice. Izum crossed his arms helplessly, muttering as he recalled some old memories, a terrible past suddenly resurfacing. Izum glanced upward, thinking to himself that his damn great father was truly foolish to believe in such nonsense. Izum then spoke up, anyway, everything is fully prepared. He grimaced, turning to look at the person he had hung up. Izum thought that it wouldn't be long before the power was activated, and then, perhaps he would achieve his goal. Suddenly, a loud explosion boomed from behind. Debris from the blast showered down, scattering right where Izum was standing. Following that explosion, Zhang was attacked and fell flat on the ground under the astonished gaze of Zam. He looked at Zhang with shocked eyes and grumbled in his heart, can't you even buy a little more time, you useless thing? He stepped on her hand and said, now that it has come to this, it seems I must speak directly with Lord Yan Wang. Zam raised his head, looking at the dark figure trying to ruin his plans, and greeted, long time no see, Lord Yan Wang. With a grim expression, Yan Wang asked back, unwilling to waste any more time, long time no see. You wouldn't be this strong without knowing me. Are you also one of the 12 armors? Zam bowed politely, responding to Yan Wang's question. Yes, my name is Zam. Despite his polite attitude and tone, his foot was still stomping heavily on Ojang. Zam greeted him. I have been waiting for you for a very long time. Have you been doing well lately? Yan Wang stared intensely at Ojang, thinking to himself, so that disgusting aura is emanating from this person. Yan Wang bluntly asked, where is Jiyu? Then, Yan Wang's gaze suddenly stopped on the person hanging from the pillar behind Zam. The latter then feigned ignorance and replied, Jiyu? So that human girl's name is Jiyu? Zam made no attempt to hide it, stating his actions directly. As you can see, she has been captured by me and is awaiting her fate. While Zam's tone sounded pleasant on the surface, his words were full of malice. For a human, she is quite strong, almost as if she possesses some kind of special power. Yan Wang silently listened to Zam's boasting, his lips pressed tightly together. Zam glanced at him, speaking in a jealous tone. By the way, you addressed her in such an intimate tone, which makes me a bit jealous. If I told you that very human deceived you, would you believe me, Lord Yan Wang? Yan Wang remained silent, quietly walking past Zam as if he barely cared about his words. Seeing this, Zam cried out, Lord Yan Wang. His face gradually lost its composure. Zam screamed, trying to make up excuses to buy time. Aren't you curious? Why did I imprison that girl? Lord Yan Wang. Please don't ignore me, Lord Yan Wang. Yan Wang just continued to walk past him. He did not even bother to reply to Zam. Knowing that babbling would not distract Yan Wang, Zam drew his sword while cursing, damn it. He pointed his sword at Yan Wang's neck and shouted, I told you to listen to me. Zam could no longer maintain his polite demeanor, his face turning veiny with anger. Do you know how long I have been waiting for you? That is the real reason I created the hell religion. Only then did Yan Wang reply to him. Glaring with wide eyes, he spoke in a freezing cold voice, shut up. Before I tear your tongue out, get out of the way. Standing before the sheer pressure of Yan Wang's words and expression, Zam shut his mouth, his face turning pale with fear. Yan Wang walked forward, then stopped right in front of where Zekui was hanging. He raised his hand forward, touching an invisible protective barrier erected by Zam. Yan Wang thought to himself, it was blocked, and he could not move forward. He spoke up and asked, what is this? Hearing this, Zam continued to ramble, saying it was a type of descended power, on a completely different level from what he had destroyed before, Lord Yan Wang. His face gradually became distorted as Zam kept babbling. This was no ordinary healing skill. The target was not the barrier itself, but rather the access right that had been completely blocked. Before his verbosity, Yan Wang only asked in return, what did you do to my subordinate? Zam heard this question and seemed to short-circuit, screaming out, she had disguised herself as a descended one while being by your side all this time. What I am activating right now is the descending power, a force that summons souls to possess the sacrificial vessel. Zam spoke and then looked back at that pillar, thinking to himself, if you hadn't come here yourself, I would have used this power to meet you. After a moment of contemplation to calm down, Zam returned to his old polite tone, I will proceed with the true descending ritual and fuse the descended soul into that body. He stared intently at Yan Wang, you will understand soon enough. And Jiyu was unconscious. Yan Wang turned his back, asking curiously about Zam's next move. After completing the ritual, what do you plan to do? He immediately replied, she has caused you worry all this time. Then Zam wore a devious smile, touched his cheek, and declared with glowing eyes, so I will kill her. Meanwhile, he secretly thought to himself, saying this will surely please him. Yan Wang remained silent, then turned his head, glancing back at Jiyu. Zam's eyes widened, and he continued to babble meaningless words. Yet, he remained completely unshaken, especially after knowing that woman was not a descended mortal. Finally, Zam concluded his words with a question, you knew it beforehand, didn't you? After a moment of silence, Yan Wang spoke up and replied to Zam, initially, I also suspected that someone had forcibly taken over the body of the descended one. Then Yan Wang recalled the moment when he and Jiyu faced each other. He continued to reply, but after being by her side, I realized that was not the case. She doesn't even know she is using the body of the descended one. Then suddenly, he spoke to Izum. Maybe she knows but is lying. Izum, slightly trembling, asked back, "Why are you so sure about that?" Yan Wang turned to look at Izum, using his steadfast eyes to answer, "If she knew that the healing ability of the Descended One is related to water." Yan Wang's memory suddenly showed the image of a girl's back. He thought to himself that she hadn't mentioned being found by the lake. Then he remembered the moment a girl was eating fish. The image of Zekui crying appeared vividly in Yan Wang's mind. He wondered if she truly wanted to deceive him. Why would she leave clues and reluctantly use her healing power in times of crisis just to prove she was the Descended One? Zekui, who was outside, had already woken up. She gently opened her eyes and silently listened to Yan Wang's words. In her heart, she whispered, "Lord Yan Wang." Zekui suddenly recalled the image of a silver-haired person. That person spoke to her strictly, "You also need to wake up, otherwise you will die." It was an old man. Zekui absent-mindedly thought about the words she had heard in the past, the advice of her grandfather. Was what that old man said the truth? When he said to wake up, he was actually referring to the soul. Jiyu looked up at Yan Wang's back, thinking to herself that those words were meant for her. But towards someone who was not a descended soul, Yan Wang still did not realize anything. He continued speaking, "That is why I have never used the karma mirror to expose it." One of Yan Wang's hands clenched tightly, reflecting his fierce belief. He uttered each word with absolute pride in that person, "Because I believe." As he spoke, he thought of the beautiful images of Jiyu in the past. It was the moment when she smiled brightly and asked, "Do you think I am a descended soul?" Then, the memory shifted to the moment Jiyu timidly asked, "If I cooperate with Lord Yan Wang, can I meet the deceased again?" Yan Wang clearly remembered the moment she cried her heart out to voice her wish. "I want to see my mother again." Yan Wang calmly continued his unfinished words. He was a gentle soul, only wishing to meet his parents once more. In his mind, happy fragments of memories of his time with Zekui kept flashing. Yan Wang smiled and said she was a girl who made excellent kimchi soup. Then, he concluded with a phrase spoken with all the sincerity of his heart, "My precious subordinate." Yan Wang decisively drew his sword, pointing it straight at him. He proudly declared to Izum, "Her name is Li Jiyu." Zekui, with one eye closed and one open, froze completely upon hearing these warm words from him. Zekui recalled the image of that innocent young boy who used to scoop up every spoonful of her cooked food and praise, "Jiyu, so delicious." She thought to herself, he clearly knew she was not a protector monk, yet he had still allowed her to stay by his side all this time. She remembered the time Yan Wang ate greedily the food she cooked and kept praising it highly. Yan Wang chewed noisily, eating with a look of pure happiness on his face. Then Jiyu thought to herself, even though everyone called her the descendant of the human king, Yan Wang's words in the past still echoed in her ears, "I am very happy, Jiyu. You are the best." Jiyu whispered to herself, he always called her by her name. She recalled so many moments when she seemed on the verge of collapsing. At those exact times, Yan Wang had appeared to support Jiyu without any hesitation. Just thinking about it made the tears stream down her face. Jiyu weakly called out his name, "Lord Yan Wang." Yan Wang smiled upon hearing Jiyu's words. He softly spoke, "Are you awake?" "Silly, don't cry. I will save you soon." Hearing this, Jiyu bowed her head, smiling through her tears as she replied, "Yes, Lord Yan Wang." Zam suddenly lowered his voice, speaking with great sorrow. "I am truly jealous. She is merely a vessel for the descendant, isn't she?" He questioned repeatedly. "Why do you keep trying to save her? After all, she is just an ordinary human, so why not let her die and then take revenge on the descendant?" Yan Wang calmly replied. "And why do you want to kill the descendant? What kind of grudge do you hold against her?" Zam's eyes suddenly widened. "That matters a lot. It was because of that person that you abdicated, Lord Yan Wang. Making a great person like you leave the throne, that alone is already a sin." The more he spoke, the more he lost control. Zam angrily pointed at Jiyu. "I was planning to let everything go because you have returned, Lord Yan Wang. Truly, but the moment I saw that face, all those thoughts vanished. Damn it, that person is truly like a phantom of the protector monk. He beat his chest and roared, I will summon the protector monk and destroy both her soul and body, so she will never bother you again, Lord Yin Wang. I will do it. I, Zam, will be the one to deal with the protector monk. He questioned in a cold voice, Are you doing this for me? By what right? Faced with this coldness, Zam was stunned. Yen Wang explained in a calm tone, the matter between me and the protector monk was never something for others to interfere with and resolve. And do you think you can kill her? Speak reasonably, except for me at my peak, no one has ever defeated the protector monk. He looked straight at him with determination. So, draw your sword, I came to eliminate you. In his heart, Izam was astonished, this was not quite what he had imagined. He froze and blurted out, Are you planning to eliminate me? Yen Wang continued. I have seen countless victims. You distribute stimulants and exploit humans. After all that, do you think your words can still reach me? As he spoke, he placed his hand on the hilt of his sword. I'm sorry, but I do not negotiate with criminals. Izam froze completely. So you ignore the words of a sinner? His smile became distorted. That's right, this is the real Lord Yin Wang. This is truly Lord Yin Wang. His mind was in turmoil, this feeling of everything not going his way. Izam grew more and more out of control, breathless and ecstatic. How could he make this sensation even more intense? Suddenly, he snapped his fingers and said with deep implication, in the end, let us all burn to ashes. As soon as he finished speaking, Jiyu behind him burst into a fierce, brilliant light. The mark on her forehead was the very source of that strange power, radiating an increasingly intense energy. While Ziyu remained unconscious with her eyes tightly shut, that power erupted in a terrifying manner. This sudden outburst left even Yen Wang utterly astonished. That massive power enveloped Jiyu's entire body. He struggled to look in confusion. What is this? At that moment, Izam spoke up to explain, I have activated the descent of the deity. He lifted his feet and gradually hovered off the ground. It will all be over in 15 minutes. Izam flew over, pointing his sword at her, and said in a teasing tone, So, what will become of Jiyu's soul? At this moment, although she was unconscious, her mind could still sense that she was in danger. Zam gasped for breath with a creepy smile. The answer is she will be completely torn to shreds, my beloved Lord Yen Wang. He braced his feet to take a strong leap. Within 15 minutes, if you cannot break through my entire spatial barrier and my 3 powers, and defeat me. Zam spoke while dragging his sword along the space, screaming frantically, then Jiyu's soul will be torn to pieces and vanish. Zam moved at lightning speed, then suddenly closed in on Yen Wang. He calmly spoke, You are truly good at speeding up your own death. Do you think I cannot do it? Yen Wang quickly drew his sword and went into an offensive stance. He decisively slashed, but Izam managed to dodge in time. He sneered mockingly, I heard that you even struggled when facing Mangathu, who has only 1 power. It seems this is impossible for you, right? Izam appeared and disappeared unpredictably. He spun around and launched a chain-spinning sword strike. In the blink of an eye, he turned into a whirlwind, making Yen Wang's sword strikes no longer a problem. He frowned in confusion. What is this power? A second later, Yen Wang decisively delivered a powerful slash. Izam was still safe, so he asked mockingly, completely different from the rest, isn't it? In his mind, he told himself, I must make Lord Yen Wang feel cornered. Set a time limit, create psychological pressure, and force him to use his. Yen Wang was in a hurry. Indeed, at that moment, he looked a bit at a disadvantage. Yen Wang found a foothold and immediately leaped up. He soared up with a terrifying power. Zam was secretly thrilled. That's right, here it comes, a great ultimate move. He spoke mockingly, but you know, Lord Yen Wang, I used to admire you. Just like children who know fairy tale characters inside out, I also understand you completely. Saying that, he swung his sword to block his attack. Yen Wang frowned with anxiety as Zam continued, After you descended to the mortal realm and fled, I have been monitoring the Hell religion. While fighting, he smugly added, which foot you step with first, your habits when swinging the sword, and your weaknesses against strong attacks. I have studied them constantly. At this moment, Yan Wang suddenly loosened his grip on the sword, secretly gathering a surge of spiritual power. This caused Wai Zam to lose focus slightly, lowering his sword. That's right, this strike of Yan Wang is indeed the Karma Fire. With a single slash, he broke the opponent's sword in half. He spoke in an amused voice despite being sliced in half in the blink of an eye. That attitude made Yan Wang feel perplexed. Why are you so surprised? His gaze turned completely cold. I suppose this detail wasn't in those fairy tales you read. Yan Wang continued to charge forward in his soul-splitting form. Izam's eyes suddenly radiated a sinister aura, whispering of his sins. He utilized the tormented dark shadow, instantly transforming into another form. A soul suddenly materialized behind Yan Wang with a gloomy voice, the sword. He commanded in a cold voice, making him seemingly hypnotized and slowly lowering his sword. Therefore, in the physical realm, Izam was launching an attack without him realizing it. He bluntly delivered a devastating blow down upon Yan Wang's head. Seeing this, Izam laughed triumphantly. Does this trick work on you too, Lord Yan Wang? He still could not help but feel bewildered. I heard a low whisper echoing in my ear, and the moment I heard it, I had no choice but to follow it, he bewilderedly recalled. The words that Wai Zam had spoken earlier suddenly flashed through his mind. The expansion of the Hell religion is all thanks to this ability. He suddenly leapt up. Do you know why I created the Hell religion? Yan Wang calmly launched an attack. I don't care. Wai Zam sneered and dodged all of his sword strikes. Are you still angry? He resumed his manipulative tone. It is all to show you one day, Lord Yan Wang, what it feels like to have countless humans worship you. It must be thrilling, right? No, his eyes became wild again. I created everything. Wai Zam, how is it? Am I not lovely? Aren't you proud? Yan Wang inwardly rejected. Is this guy really crazy? Creating followers with stimulants, then brainwashing them, and then expecting me to praise him? He replied, to be honest, I don't remember who you are or what you did. Yan Wang wondered, did that bearded man make you like this, or were you always like this? Wai Zam laughed ecstatically. Oh my god, you finally answered me, didn't you? Truly. He suddenly rushed forward with a powerful kick. Violence is indeed the best way to talk. Wai Zam laughed frantically. Did you feel pity for the addicts? As he spoke, he grabbed the sword. That's right, indeed you are Lord Yan Wang, but did you think I wouldn't know that? Wai Zam slashed wildly and said, if only my foolish brother had played the role of the cult leader properly, if only he had taken all the blame and died, then I could have become a good 12 armors. Yan Wang parried those sword strikes, secretly surprised in his heart, a good 12 armors? He recalled what he had once said, we should kill the protector monk because she made Lord Yan Wang worry. I am Wai Zam, the leader of the Hell religion. If Wai Zam had taken all the blame and died, perhaps we would not have realized the true identity of the ringleader. At that moment, Yan Wang suddenly realized, thinking back, although masked by strange behaviors, that guy had always tried to win his favor. He solemnly directed his gaze toward him. Don't tell me that is your true motive. Wai Zam screamed, at all costs, to become Lord Yan Wang's subordinate, that is my true goal. Then he recalled Oh Zheng's story. Creating the Hell religion, forcing my brother to play the fake leader, and attempting to kill the protector monk through the descent of the deity, all of it was just to earn recognition from Lord Yan Wang. In the present, Wai Zam still attacked frantically. But I think you have taken a very roundabout path. His voice was full of contempt, to think that you cannot even handle my space energy. Yan Wang is still focusing on. Take this, Lu Jiao. That twisted smile appeared on his face once again. Since things have come to this, it's better to brainwash you as well. Whisper your sins, distressed dark shadow. That eerie, commanding voice echoed within Yan Wang's mind. From now on, forever. Before those two words request could be fully uttered, he timely raised his hand, suddenly channeling power into his own eardrums. Hot blood dripped from Yan Wang's ears. This act left Izam completely frozen in shock. He couldn't understand why the Lord would destroy his own eardrums. He coldly uttered a harsh truth. People who are obsessed to the point of madness are not my type. Why Zam stubbornly repeated over and over. Love me, love me, love me. Yan Wang silently deduced that the condition to activate his spatial ability was hearing whispers in his ears. Thanks to his sixth sense, he could perceive it, yet the spatial ability still failed to activate. He asked in confusion. Why do you have to go to this extent? Seeing no response, he frantically screamed. Just to avoid becoming mine? Truly annoying. Yan Wang silently assessed his own. Those words came from an extremely selfish mindset. He completely lacked the social skills that normal people possess. He viewed every living being other than himself as objects. That guy was truly a socially deviant person. Zam clutched his head and collapsed to the ground. Damn it! Can't you just give up? Can't you stand on my side? He recalled his past and screamed. It had been like that since he was a human. Damn it, no one has ever stood on my side, everyone is just like that. Zam's fingers dug tightly into his head. He screamed in pain, why do you all hate me? Memories of the past suddenly flashed back. Let go of me. Back then, he was just a young boy but was dragged away. I said let go. I am Zam, the son of the patriarch, I said let me go. Zam questioned in agony. Great father. Why did you do this? You said the sacrifice for the rain ritual had to be a sheep, so why did you use me as the sacrifice? Despite Zam's painful screams, Great Father just stood there, completely indifferent. The subordinate asked in confusion, are you sure about this? No matter what, they are still your own flesh and blood. The Great Father coldly replied, it is better not to have such a person. The most important thing right now is that Suko Zhang is standing between life and death. The Great Father honestly recounted that, with the determination to reclaim the tribe's homeland, he had recklessly charged forward without even bringing a single horse. Despite being a girl, Zhang was more determined than anyone else. The Great Father decisively ordered, since Suko Zhang is in danger, we must break through the defensive line and send the cavalry in. The subordinate hesitated, Chief. He coldly ordered, burn him, it's time to end this battle. At that time, Zam was tightly bound and burned alive. As the flames flared up, he screamed in agony, but no one cared to pay attention. Returning to reality, the two of them continued their battle. He growled in resentment, while I was writhing in pain, that damn Great Father said, if you don't know what you did wrong, go ask Lord Yan Wang. So when I truly fell into hell, I asked you. Do you still remember? Back then, you. A tear suddenly fell from the corner of Zam's eye. He recalled that moment, speaking each word clearly and solemnly, you just silently embraced me. At that moment, he could not hold back his tears. I had never known the embrace of a Great Father could be so warm. The place that I thought would be scary and hot turned out to be so warm. Zam cried out helplessly, then how can I forget, how can I not admire you? He shouted with a voice full of agony, so how can I not love you? Zam braced himself and pushed Yan Wang back. His eyes showed clearly behind the thin veil, the reason I cannot give up on you is... Zam began to gather his second energy, an outburst of extreme pain shattering the ground. He spoke in a low, determined voice, even if I have to lock your body up, I will keep you by my side. Zam unleashed hundreds of sword strikes at the same time. Jeonmi sword style, second form, blood needle. Hearing those words, Yan Wang coldly judged. You are mutated enough to give me goosebumps. He silently activated the karma mirror, his voice remaining flat. But your hobbies are even more disgusting. Yan Wang seriously launched the 10,000 black rope hammers. Hundreds of attacks appeared, blocking all of the blood needles. Izam struggled to resist. Are you trying to drag me down to hell? Do you think I'll fall for that? He looked ahead in confusion, not knowing that Yan Wang had already teleported behind him. He's gone. He raised the sword high, the first form of the soul-splitting move. Due to overexerting his energy on this technique, Yan Wang immediately spat out blood. Right when he completed the devastating move, he suddenly lost control and collapsed. Yan Wang coughed continuously, bleeding heavily, yet he still tried to plant his sword into the ground to sit upright. Yan Wan was extremely bewildered. Suddenly, an agonizing pain surged through him, he felt nauseous, and his muscles felt as if they were being twisted. What is this? Izum spoke up, this is my second ability, Ultimate Torment. When you counterattack, when you hit me, or when you look straight at me, you will suffer pain. His eyes suddenly became bewitching, do you want to taste some more? Without waiting for Yan Wang to reply, he suddenly rushed forward. Izum glared and said, I used this ability on Bingathu. Watching him writhe in an unprecedented pain was truly hilarious. In the end, he promised to gather life force for me, and that giant of a man knelt before me. As he spoke, he launched a frenzied attack. He could not take it anymore, his mouth spitting out blood. Yan Wang still tried his best to swing the sword to fight back. Hearing this, Zam continued to babble, as expected of Lord Yan Wang, extreme pain is an agony granted by the gods. He swung his sword frantically. The sensation of guts being ripped open, eyes being gouged out alive, the agony of being skinned alive. How can you still swing your sword so beautifully while suppressing the rising blood? He clenched his teeth in frustration even though the blood had risen to his throat. This made Zam even more frantic. That angry expression is driving me crazy, Lord Yan Wang. Please, be even angrier. Autumn, that's right, what did I do to Autumn of the Four Seasons? He suddenly remembered his words, heroes are just entertainment, I protect humans in my own way. My wife is dead, Yan Wang. Back then Autumn saw his wife lying in a pool of blood. He admitted, Zam, controlled that S. That killer, I brainwashed the judge and prosecutor to release him. Zam recounted while attacking. I gave them Autumn's address, and then something interesting happened. His hands, which always did good deeds, are now covered in blood. Zam shouted in delight, the hero has fallen, a hypocrite turned criminal. Oh my! He gripped the sword tightly and continued, after that, there was something even more ridiculous. That guy was so devastated by the loss of his wife, wasn't he? Finally, Zam's voice suddenly distorted. He turned to stimulants, completely unaware that the mastermind behind his wife's murder was me, as he begged for more life force. Autumn had lost his mind and pleaded, please, I can't survive without life force. He laughed with delight, at first it was just a joke but it turned out to be more useful than I thought. 12,345. So I admitted him into the Hell religion and assigned him to Bingathu's faction. How does it feel? Are your guts twisting? 12,345. Zam screamed, get angry, Lord Yan Wang, please get angry. But his face remained as cold as ice. 12,345. Suddenly, Zhang scrambled up unsteadily. She was in a panic, feeling that something was wrong. 12,345. She wondered in panic why her power was disappearing. Not only her power, but her senses were also fading. Why hasn't Lord Yan Wang used his spatial energy yet? While analyzing, Izum watched closely. He didn't feel like Lord Yan Wang was being cornered at all. This is truly dangerous. Zhang shouted from below. Sister, watch out. It seems like Lord Yan Wang is waiting for something. This threw Izum's mind into complete chaos. Even if they gave it their all, it wouldn't be enough. What on earth is he waiting for? He thought to himself. Is he still keeping his composure? I need to provoke him a bit more. Immediately after, Izum abruptly retreated. No matter what, I will definitely win. His face became distorted again. What are you waiting for? Reinforcements from the protector monk, or death? Should you avenge the people who were sacrificed, or take revenge for Autumn who has been corrupted? Be angry, Lord Yan Wang. Izum's eyes showed clear madness. I will stuff your body with that angry face, then place you in a corner of my room. Yan Wang didn't hear those words at all. He quietly heard a familiar voice, Lord Yan Wang, I am Lu Jiao. At that time, the old man slowly said, Xianwu has just completed the evacuation of everyone. We have also evacuated all residents within a 3-mile radius around the Hell religion. Lu Jiao smiled and asked, Lord Yan Wang, don't you feel tired? Always having to suppress your power so as not to involve innocent people. In the present, Yan Wang slowly replied. Not at all. Lu Jiao thought to himself, hoping that one day someone would appear who could share the heavy burden that Lord Yan Wang was carrying. He spoke up again, Lord Yan Wang, now just unleash your power to your heart's content as you wish. As soon as those words were uttered, his power also changed. The energy flared up as if it wanted to burn everything to ashes. An awareness suddenly surfaced in Yan Wang's mind, casting aside the sin of famine, a new sword gradually emerged. Izam's eyes widened in bewilderment. That intense light dyed a part of the castle in crimson red. Izam stood completely frozen at the sight unfolding before his eyes. As quick as lightning, Yan Wang struck with his sword, severing one of Izam's arms. His voice quietly echoed, sins do not disappear, and judgment cannot be reversed. Yan Wang glared, asserting, but at least, I must claim back some of my revenge. Zam shrieked in panic, my hand. Yan Wang slowly lowered his scythe to touch the ground. Autumn appeared, crying out in agony, I cannot create anyone else who is like my wife. He calmly said, do not overreact. Compared to what you have done, losing an arm is nothing. Saying this, Yan Wang leaped from his position, shattering the ground. He lunged straight at Zam to strike, then sneered, let me guess, you will fall because of the blinding shroud. He still stubbornly yelled, cut the nonsense. Do you think I am that easily defeated? I just need to shatter this spatial ability. Yan Wang's eyes remained cold, try it then, if you can. He raised his scythe, catching Zam off guard. Just as the blade was about to touch him, he suddenly screamed. Go, Suko Zhang. She appeared instantly, forcing Yan Wang to swing his scythe toward her first. Zhang moved with incredible speed, and only a second later did the wound appear. A delayed strike? Yan Wang replied, knowing that the moment her feet touched the ground, all the accumulated damage would hit at once. Zam warned, don't try to block the scythe, dodge it. Zhang asked anxiously, what about stopping the bleeding? He replied, it's done, let's attack together. You handle the side. As soon as he finished speaking, both of them leaped up at the same time. They approached Yan Wang from two different directions. He felt a bit helpless. Damn it, just when I thought I was gaining the upper hand, they immediately teamed up against me. Zhang swung her hand forcefully to execute the ice step strike. Yan Wang had to struggle to defend against this attack. He felt uneasy, the preemptive Dharma strike had disrupted my rhythm before I could even attack. Defending himself, he also had to observe. If it were one-on-one, I would have counterattacked immediately, but now it is difficult, as she is waiting for her chance. Right at this moment, Zam rushed forward with an extremely painful strike. His dark energy immediately enveloped the surroundings, causing him to lose focus, feeling as if his entire body was being torn apart. Despite the pain, Yan Wang still fought back with every sword strike. This is indeed a difficult battle, an unavoidable spatial energy unless I rupture my own hearing. He intently observed Zam and a power causing terrible pain. There is still an unrevealed energy, and due to ice step, I always get hit first no matter what technique I unleash. At the same time, Zhang decisively flew over. Helplessly, he thought, damn it, this is indeed the most grueling battle. Both of them attacked at the same time. Yan Wang silently thought that he had already experienced this in the mortal realm. Determination flared in his eyes, he needed to find a way to break this deadlock. A second later, Yan Wang swung his sword with immense force, blowing both of them away. Zam gritted his teeth in frustration, damn it, is Lord Yan Wang really a monster? Extreme pain was an ability that had knocked out even Bingathu with a single blow. Until now, anyone hit by it was easily incapacitated. He wondered what kind of crazy willpower this was. He had hit him at least 20 times, so how could he still stand so firmly? Meanwhile, Zhang was still trying his best to attack using ice step. Yan Wang secretly sighed, damn it, a preemptive strike. Zhang hastily said, he is losing his balance, we must take advantage of this. Zam interrupted, no, he must be pretending to be cornered. I will use extreme pain to gradually wear him down until he is exhausted. The two of them frantically attacked from two different directions. Yan Wang felt completely powerless. Curse it, they aren't giving me any chance to counterattack. Even when I intentionally expose a weakness, they don't fall for it. At this moment, he suddenly remembered Lu Jiao's words, Lord Yan Wang, the enemies will no longer be careless, they will set traps and use every tactic to gain an advantage in battle. He said to himself, Lu Jiao is right, these guys are not letting their guard down at all. They are truly trying to kill me. In a one-on-one fight, I would definitely have the upper hand. The opponent who has lost an arm is no longer my match. If I keep pressing forward, victory will be mine. At this moment, Yan Wang was gripping the sword tightly. Unable to withstand this immense power, Izum gritted his teeth in anger, you monster! He lowered his body and activated dash to sweep forward, silently thinking that this was the real problem. Yan Wang actively initiated an attack on Zhang, but she completely evaded it. He paused for a beat before the combination of preemptive strike and extreme pain. It was an unblockable strike as the preemptive strike rushed forward, while a tearing pain in his internal organs simultaneously surged due to extreme pain. Looking at the two opponents in front of him, he wondered how he could somehow turn the tide. Yan Wang secretly concealed his weak breaths, as controlling his body became increasingly difficult. With this condition, can I really continue to fight? But then, a voice echoed, are you planning to give up? The scene transitions as Debei's voice rings out solemnly. According to the information gathered by the Protector monks, Sea and Horse of the 12 Armors have recently been frequently visiting the Hell religion. The worst-case scenario is that those two armors directly clash with Lord Yan Wang. She is extremely worried, and their center remains lit until late at night. Lu Jiao sighed, these bastards, they gather in large numbers to take advantage of Lord Yan Wang's absence. Should I go down and deal with them early? Debei cannot help but feel anxious. The horse armor only has one ability, while the goat armor possesses up to 3. In contrast, Lord Yan Wang only has 2 abilities left, the Karma Mirror and the Sixth Sense, after using one of them to resurrect Xianwu. She wondered, shouldn't you take action now, Lord Lu Jiao? The old man kept a calm voice, is it really necessary? This attitude left Debei bewildered. What? Lu Jiao recalled that moment and smiled reassuringly, I have already prepared insurance for Jiyu. I have created a situation where Lord Yan Wang cannot lose. There is no need to worry, we will definitely win. Bat Fa glanced with sheer contempt, thinking this body would not be affected at all. He muttered to himself, give up and become my life force. Suddenly, Yan Wang asked, why did you choose to kill? Are you that deprived? Suddenly, Bat Fa slammed his hand down, attacking Yan Wang and shouting, have you forgotten my physical constitution? With rage, veins bulging all over his face, he grumbled, I cannot feel anything because of this damn scholar's holy shroud that I cannot take off even in death. He imagined himself struggling in pitch-black water and lamented. In the endless darkness, there is only spinning and struggling. Whether I am speaking or breathing, I cannot feel it at all. He raised his fist in helplessness and continued. I can only use that sixth sense to know. Yan Wang used his sword to block Bat Fa's punch, listening to his lament. What is my hand crushing? Then he swung his fist again, preparing to continue his attack, screaming in frustration. I do not even know. In the very next moment, his fist pressed close to Yan Wang's sword tip, but he simply turned his sword sideways, easily parrying the strike. Afterward, Yan Wang questioned, is that why you eat humans, you fool? He exerted force against the weight of the fist and shouted, open your mouth. Then he yelled a reminder, just beg Debei, is that so hard? Following that, he flung back Bat Fa's fist, causing him to look bewildered. Bat Fa laughed and replied, Humph, how hard did you have to struggle just to bestow Lu Jiao upon me? What can Debei possibly do? Furthermore, he bared his teeth in a contemptuous smile, he is at the same level as me, so why should I bow down and beg? Yan Wang raised his eyes, asking sadly, you would rather slaughter innocents indiscriminately than submit to Debei? Bat Fa struck a palm down and explained, Lord Yan Wang, we are gods after all, with vast divine powers. His fist, swept with purple energy, slammed violently into the ground, causing rocks and dirt to instantly explode and shoot upward. Bat Fa added, what does it matter if we eat minor things to resurrect? His next question made Yen Wang freeze in heartache. Because of that trivial matter, we have to humble ourselves before Debay? Bat Fa laughed, but there was no joy in his eyes. He pointed his finger to the ground and said, "Isn't that too humiliating?" As his finger seemed to pierce through a layer of space to point beneath the earth, Bat Fa immediately unleashed the second form of the Vajra indestructible palm. His eyes lit up as he thought, "Human monster." Then, he thrust his fingers deep into the ground and unleashed his move, heaven-shattering earth shake. Instantly, the buildings shook violently, and glass shattered, falling down like rain. Cars were tossed into the air, while rocks and dirt blasted upward with a roar. Everything around where Bat Fa stood cracked and was blown into the sky. Next, terrifying rumbling sounds echoed across a vast area surrounding him. Everything was smashed to pieces and collapsed. Watching the flying debris, Bat Fa smiled wickedly and remarked, "Ha ha ha, thank you so much for this gaze, Lord Yen Wang." At this moment, a deep, endless rage was clearly visible in Yen Wang's eyes. Meanwhile, Bat Fa looked up and said, "In that case, let's have a fight." Yen Wang launched an attack from above, his eyes turning crimson as his power exploded. Departed Soul's Rush, First Form, Direct Remonstrance. The moment the words left his mouth, he brought down his attack, and Bat Fa instantly. Feeling the pain, he clenched his hands into fists. After that, he did not back down at all and stepped forward to take action. Facing the Vajra indestructible palm, seeing this, he quickly used his sword to defend himself in time. Bat Fa's eyes glowed bright yellow, while a cold, murderous aura flared up, filled with bloodthirsty rage. The silent space suddenly surged with strong gusts of wind, bringing an uneasy feeling that enveloped everything. The powerful energy exploded violently, bringing a wild wind that shook the space and made everything tremble violently. Affected by the terrible power, Ayamra's body faltered, but he still struggled to maintain his fighting stance. He slowly raised his eyes and thought to himself that he had never seen this shroud power before. Did he create a new technique after I left? Ayamra tightly gripped the sword in his hand. His body was trembling, which was due to the aftershock of the previous technique still remaining in his body, if that was the case. While he was off guard, his voice suddenly appeared right beside him, making him startle in shock. "Where are you looking?" Ayamra regained his composure and immediately turned to look directly at Bat Fa, who was even faster than him. Without any hesitation, he quickly swung his sword to counterattack decisively, when suddenly he... Laughing out loud, it turned out to be exactly as Jian Shan said, "You are in a terrible state now." Bat Fa mockingly said that he is still a demigod, while the opponent has no power, so how could they even fight? He added in a disdainful tone that even if they had power, they would still stand no chance against him. Lu Jia, standing nearby, could only watch the situation in silence. Following the mockery, Bat Fa immediately took the initiative, rushing forward and launching a fierce attack that made Ivan feel the pain. Instantly, Ivan glared at him while activating the power of the sword. The glowing blade ripped through the air and charged straight at the opponent with terrifying power and damage. The flames rose violently, but Bat Fa remained calm and unperturbed. He wore a contemptuous smile with cold eyes, leisurely looking at his opponent as if all efforts were futile. He softly said, "I already told you it was useless." Bat Fa's hand clenched into a fist, his power instantly exploding and shaking the entire space. He unleashed the Vajra indestructible palm, throwing a thunderous punch directly at Ivan. The extremely powerful punch sent his body flying backward. A shockwave violently erupted throughout the surrounding space, continuously dispersing powerful tremors. Taking a direct hit, Ivan lost all control of his body, slowly falling amidst the violent aura enveloping the area. He crashed heavily onto the ground, creating a deafening sound. The massive impact simultaneously sent dust and dirt flying wildly into the air. Bat Fa bent his knees and asked triumphantly, "How is it? Have you felt the difference in our levels yet? Are you in despair now, huh?" As soon as his words fell, Ivan's figure suddenly appeared in his line of sight. He was still standing there calmly, as if no collision had ever occurred. Dust and smoke still lingered around Ivan, but his eyes were now completely enveloped in an ice-cold gaze. He silently tightened the blood-red bandage wrapped around the sword's hilt, then raised his head, releasing a beast-like aura that overwhelmed his opponent. Witnessing this made Bat Fa instinctively terrified, his pupils contracting as cold sweat ran down his pale face. The surrounding space suddenly fell into a suffocating silence, with only a silent murderous intent spreading everywhere. Sweat poured down his face. Why? He was clearly the one dominating just now. Bat Fa continued to stare at him. The demon was beaten into such a miserable state, so why was he still standing? Fear involuntarily crept into his mind, terrifyingly so. Bat Fa suddenly remembered, but what power did he have left besides the Vajra indestructible Pong? He instantly regained his composure and at the same time proactively took action. Attack, the tremor spreads violently, and he suddenly speaks aloud. It turns out that Upasada's gaze is extremely sharp. Is this the technique that you, bastard, have accumulated over 300 years? He thought to himself, I see, his body is not injured at all, and his strength is incredibly powerful. Upasada asserts that he does not need to exert much effort to make all things kneel before him. At the same time, he shouts, Departed Souls Rush, third form. Upasada swings his sword, tearing through the wind to create a cold slash rushing straight toward Bat Fa at terrifying speed. When nigh. The power of both sides collides violently, creating a shockwave that sweeps up dust and makes the space tremble fiercely. His terrifying aura completely overwhelms him, freezing him in place, his eyes trembling, not daring to take another step forward. The colossal fist strikes down fiercely, but Upasada still firmly blocks it, not retreating even a single inch. A moment after the violent collision, he gradually lost his strength. Along with that, his body stiffened and his breathing became heavier. What a pity, it was almost there. Seeing this scene before his eyes, Bat Fa could not help but be bewildered. What are you doing? Lu Jiao immediately said helplessly, This is crazy. Zek Kui wondered, what did Lord Ayamra just do? The old man silently said, when fighting Bat Fa, one must be extremely careful to receive the blow. Lu Jiao scanned around and muttered, though his body is crooked, his physical frame is very solid. Moreover, there is the destructive power of the spreading shockwaves, making it even more difficult. The uneven vibrations emitting from the fist caused the sword to shake and bounce slightly. The uneven vibration was like a slippery iron ball flying at an extremely high speed. Finding the center of gravity of that ball is harder than finding a needle in a haystack. Even Bat Fa's speed was faster than Lord Ayamra's. Zek Kui's eyes were filled with anxiety. What should they do now? No one understood well, so Lord Ayamra used his sword as a needle to fight back and break the powerful vibration that Bat Fa was building up. Only when his voice was suddenly interrupted for some unknown reason could they attack him. Noman fell into silence. Of course, still following the craziest way, he firmly asserted that because it was Lord Ayamra, it was entirely possible. Bat Fa gritted his teeth, thinking, did they really think just a few slashes could destroy my hard work of the past 300 years? The white-haired young man heard this and only replied coldly. I, now, must create a miracle. He suddenly roared out. Stop being so ridiculous, you are far too arrogant. Recognizing the meaning behind those words, Ayamra immediately. Just you wait and see. Bat Fa charged forward at the same time. Yan Wang was no longer a deity. The opposing forces of both sides wildly devoured the battlefield. Exploding flames and cracking earth created shocking echoes everywhere. Zek Kui, observing from the side, could not help but feel restless. Yan Wang is losing too much blood, can I join the battle now? Normung indifferently said. Come on, you going there will only get in the way. At the same time, he thought that defeating Bat Fa's shroud power could no longer be called a miracle. He knew that he did not possess enough power. Normung secretly wondered, what on earth was he thinking? It would be better to drag him to hell to settle the score. Thinking of this scene, he instantly froze. Hell? Normung's memory suddenly rushed back, his voice echoing in his ears. I hand down the punishment of being used as firewood. Yan Wang smiled at that moment. It seems that hell has been restored. He immediately understood why it took so much time to restore such a hell, but if it were that specific hell, it would be a different story. Who told them to have such a crazy master anyway? Zek Kui was stunned for a moment when she saw Lu Jiao transform into human form. He braced himself, shouting to start up. She looked after him in confusion and asked, Lu Jiao, where are you going? Didn't you say earlier that you were afraid of being a hindrance? He smiled and said, it is time, if my prediction is correct, this game will be turned around immediately. Meanwhile, at this moment, the powerful clashing sound of the sword echoed everywhere. Upasada kept his composure, took a leap, and charged powerfully forward. Batfa suddenly let out a laugh, causing him to freeze. He slightly raised the corner of his mouth, acting smugly as if it were nothing special, and declared, let's end this. Right after that, Batfa immediately. Batfa launched his move, the second form of the Vajra indestructible palm. Meanwhile, Ayamra gripped the hilt of his sword tightly, the first form of the departed soul's rush. He began to release a harsh aura, the heaven-shattering earth shake. He also looked up and rushed in at the same time. Ayamra's cold gaze quickly enveloped the entire space, direct remonstrance, no vibration. Very quickly after that, the surrounding space fell back into silence. Rustling winds quietly swept past, carrying dust and the stench of blood. Batfa could hardly believe it and muttered to himself, has it been dispelled? His eyes flared crimson as he declared that from now on, his sword would reach him. He then raised his voice, let's begin. Ayamra slowly glanced behind his back and called, Lu Jiao. The old man immediately flashed a sly smile in response, sinner, forget everything, recall. Right at this moment, Debei's voice urgently rang out, run, this way. Her breathing became heavy, hurry up, it's dangerous here. At the same time, the opposite side reported, Miss Debei, it is almost finished on this side. She replied, good, continue the evacuation. After speaking, Debei fell into deep thought, in the end, the time to face it has come. Should I leave it to heaven? She looked up into the distance, Lord Yin Wang, please be safe. On this side, Lu Jiao smiled faintly and spoke, undo the seal. Hearing his voice, Batfa's sweat poured out more and more. After that, he was startled as his voice suddenly echoed, Lu Jiao. Yen Wang looked at him with absolute trust, come on. The smoke and dust gradually dissipated, and the space fell into silence. This left Batfa completely dumbfounded, what? His entire body was frozen, eyes wide in a daze, as if he still couldn't believe what was happening. Then Batfa startled at the scene before him. What is this, why am I here? He looked up, thinking he was just fighting Yen Wang over there, had he run away? As soon as Batfa moved his legs, he felt the invisible pressure of the surrounding water, leaving him completely at a loss for what to do next. Batfa wondered, why am I standing here, what am I doing? No, he belatedly realized that he had been hit by Lu Jiao's recall skill, causing his memories to be constantly erased. Just as he thought of this, another gravity suddenly pressed down on Batfa's back, and the scenery changed once again. He recalled the old man's smile. Lu Jiao's recall shroud power was supposed to be very weak. Batfa silently analyzed that the time of returning to the past was also short. How could it be used so continuously that he couldn't even notice, or perhaps it was mixed with a memory-erasing ability to create this chaotic mess? Batfa stared straight ahead. He had originally thought Yen Wang would be the one to use the flashback, but unexpectedly, he entrusted it to Lu Jiao. Batfa's mind was deeply shaken, do not underestimate a demigod like him. Blue veins gradually bulged across his face. Had Lu Jiao gone senile? He tried to recall the situation at that moment. Your dispersing shockwave is completely shattered. Batfa suddenly recalled Yen Wang's voice, what I need is only time, hold Batfa back. His gaze stood prominently in his memory. Within 12 hours, hold the immortal back. Batfa quickly returned to reality, while Lu Jiao spoke up in praise, to remember it on your own, impressive. He rolled his eyes and said, although he did not know what Yen Wang was. What kind of trick is this? I will never let you have your way. The old man coughed softly a few times, damn it, high-grade goods are indeed different, I can't use the backbones anymore. But to make a move directly, even when out of shroud power you still dare to show your face. Do you want to fight me hand-to-hand? Lu Jiao replied, when it comes to strength, how could I ever beat you? He flashed a cunning smile, speak up, where is Yen Wang hiding? Then I shall spare your miserable life. The old man suddenly spoke, by the way. Lu Jiao pointed behind his back, the sun is rising, see? The old man burst into a bright smile, while saying, mission accomplished. As soon as Lu Jiao finished speaking, a sudden heat wave enveloped the entire surrounding area. Immediately after, a massive flame erupted as if planned beforehand. He casually escaped the pressure of the 8-gate seal. His pupils instantly contracted violently. I do not possess the 5 senses, but I understand clearly what is happening. The 8 gates sensed the surrounding space, where the ground was pitch black and filled with thick smoke. Following his train of thought, he analyzed this place, a river of lava with endlessly burning sulfur. The 8 gates cast his gaze in all directions, a place where sinners were used as firewood, burning day after day. This was the great hell, the great burning hell. He finally began to realize who the true master of this place was. The 8 gates stood silently, staring at the burning throne before him. Yan Wang majestically appeared within his line of sight. At the same time, the scorching heat of this great burning hell was gradually rising over time. He stood majestically amidst the sea of fire, emitting an invisible pressure that made everything here hotter than ever before. He seemed to still be in utter shock, staring blankly at Yan Wang, whose eyes were filled with intense murderous intent. Fireworks. Yan Wang began to clench his fist tightly. Carrying an overwhelming aura, he coldly said, "Come on." As soon as Yan Wang finished speaking, the lava erupted simultaneously, causing the temperature of the surrounding space to soar continuously. The fiery hell has the ability to conditionally enhance physical capabilities, and he simply walked upon the intense heat of the lava. The longer one remains in the fiery hell, the more Yan Wang's physical state enhances. Bat Fa quickly realized this truth, so that is why you tried to drag out the time. He suddenly recalled. 12 hours have passed in the mortal realm, how long have I been here? Bat Fa seemed unable to accept the truth and said, this is crazy, why on earth did it come to this? He instantly rushed toward him without any hesitation. It has been said that Yan Wang's eyes are deep and hollow, I must create a miracle. Saying this, he directly used action to prove it. Unable to defend in time, the other was instantly knocked backward. Bat Fa suddenly rose up and cleared his throat. Do you think you can kill me with such a simple method? He unleashed his fury, so what if you held me back, there is no way I'll get hurt. If you have the guts, step out and fight me head on. Bat Fa lost control like that, frantically unleashing his moves, Vajra Indestructible Palm, 4th stance. He quickly advanced right in front of Yan Wang, giant bow thrusting spear. He swung his sword to confront Bat Fa amidst the fiery sky with an overwhelming and fierce momentum, executing direct remonstrance. The sharp blade struck him directly, while Yan Wang unleashed an explosion of power that violently shook the entire space. Bat Fa gritted his teeth and thought to himself, the opponent wanted to push him away, and any slip-up would be dangerous. He began to activate his protective barrier to regain his composure. After that, he directly summoned an ever-growing power. Blue veins popped on his forehead as he roared, ridiculous, you duckhead. I am Vajra Indestructible, a shield that can never be pierced. Do you still not know what it means to struggle in vain? Yan Wang smirked provocatively, in vain, yet it still makes you struggle so hard to hold your ground. Without saying a word, he launched a direct attack. Bat Fa gathered his strength and roared a deafening sound, causing the shockwave to disperse widely. Yan Wang simultaneously rushed forward, activating the second form of the departed soul's rush. His sharp sword instantly collided fiercely with him, creating a shockless impact. Bat Fa was momentarily stunned by this technique. While he was lost in thought, Yan Wang quickly seized the opportunity to swing his sword. Instantly, an intense heat was rapidly released outward. The entire body of Bat Fa seemed to have completely submerged into a sea of fire. He stared coldly, indifferently observing the scene before his eyes. 6 consecutive strikes were launched at a sufficiently close range. Yan Wang pressed closer and closer towards Bat Fa. He thought to himself, I don't need any more time. He gripped the sword hilt tightly, quickly focusing, and took half a step back. The aura of Yan Wang erupted violently, carrying a suffocating intent to kill. His dead white, bloodshot eyes were cold and soulless, filled with a crazed, suffocating malice. Charging forward like lightning, he decisively swung the sword, unleashing an intense oppressive force to advance 2 steps. Yan Wang shot through the air, brandishing his sword and tearing the wind apart, his figure bursting with wild, violent momentum. The sharp blade swiped right past Bat Fa's high hair tuft. The tuft of hair sliced by the passing blade gently detached and fell to the ground. He paused briefly in a daze, reaching up to touch his hair. With a stunned look, he realized how perilously close the blade had just swept past him. Bat Fa's eyes widened in horror, his face blank as cold sweat poured down, filled with bewilderment and doubt at what had just transpired. He raised his voice and asked, "Lord Yan Wang, do you still need a subordinate?" Hearing this, he couldn't help but frown. "Subordinate?" Bat Fa explained, "That's my lackey, just a foot soldier." He pleaded, "Or you can just call me a coward, as long as you let me serve you and let me go back." Bat Fa also added, "He just lost his hair bun earlier. He said, my skin is still in great shape, you know. After all, I am Vajra indestructible, destined by heaven to withstand storms and shattering rocks. Surely you wouldn't want to defy creation?" Yan Wang heard this and could only remain silent for a moment. Without saying a word, he suddenly rushed right in front of him. Bat Fa lowered his voice and asked, "I always thought you would never return. Is it wrong to find a way to survive for myself?" Yan Wang retorted sharply, "Using your servants as bait. How dare you say those words, you despicable coward?" Bat Fa defended himself. "The living corpses told me everything. They talked about the crying mouse, the stuttering pig, and even the unborn snake beaten by despicable humans. I am not that kind of trash." Bat Fa became serious. "Unlike them, I am neither hurt nor defeated. Wouldn't it be better to employ me, Lord Yan Wang?" His voice dropped lower. "Choose you over them?" He answered decisively, "That's right." Bat Fa continued, "The weakest bunch. See, to serve Lord Yan Wang, you must at least be on par with me or better." Hearing him say this, he could only remain silent. Yan Wang suddenly remembered Selsaban's plea, "Please help me rescue them." The person beside him chimed in, "Maybe I can be of some help." He used all of his strength to tighten his grip on the sword hilt. Indeed, humans are too weak, both their bodies and souls are easily hurt. But, that voice kept echoing in Yan Wang's ears. "I am merely an outdated, simple man," he said solemnly. "Everyone has moments when they cannot fight alone." Yan Wang added, "When loneliness gradually envelopes, and when the world drifts further away." He slowly opened his mouth. "As long as someone reaches out," Yan Wang lowered his voice, "once they have enough courage to take that hand, humans," he raised his eyes, "no matter how many times they stumble, they will have the strength to stand up." "It is the same now," Yan Wang said. "In the ruined city that you destroyed, they are working together to save one another." Bat Fa sneered, "Isn't the savior also acting out of self-interest?" "Don't be so hypocritical." He interrupted. "Bat Fa," Yan Wang slightly curled his lips, "who are you to judge others?" He bluntly declared, "At least to me, raising a pack of cowardly mice is still better than those who bring snakes into the house to bite the chickens." Yan Wang spoke in a solemn voice, "I hand down the sentence." A series of images flashed through his mind, showing scenes of cannibals. The more Yan Wang thought about this, the more dissatisfied he became. Abandoning his subordinates, he continued to think of Zabine, who made humans harm one another. Yan Wang said, "Resorting to any means just to regain senses, the appropriate punishment for this crime is to strip away all feelings." His eyes turned dark, "And the power I bestowed upon you since ancient times, the remaining senses." The force of Yan Wang's foot grew stronger and stronger, returning both taste and the six senses, to imprison him in eternal apathy. He began to act, never to feel anything ever again. Hearing this, Bat Fa could not help but panic. Deprive of what? Insensibility? What on earth do you want? Yan Wang slightly lowered his center of gravity while tightly gripping the hilt of his sword, gathering power throughout his body to confront the demigod Bat Fa. His cold, crimson eyes, filled with intent to kill, calmly pronounced the sentence, "Pay for your karma." Hearing these words, he completely lost his composure and made his move, "Shut up." Bat Fa continuously launched attacks, "Die." Yan Wang's eyes locked him into his sights, like cutting off a rotten branch. His face remained calm amidst the splattered blood, exuding an eerie, cold composure. A new tree would continue to sprout, with a heart oriented toward goodness and without fear. Yan Wang recalled Debei's voice, Lord Yan Wang. At the same time, he thought to himself, a heart oriented toward goodness, without fear. The tears of Zekui crying out for help vividly appeared in Yan Wang's memory, a heart oriented toward goodness, free from all sorrow. He continued to remember those innocent smiles, his heart turning towards goodness, smiling happily. Thinking of this, Yan Wang's eyebrows unconsciously relaxed. His hands tightly gripped the sword hilt dyed red with blood, his aura rising with ready determination. He resolutely said, I will resolve everything. Yan Wang concentrated his strength, emitting a burning aura. Under the fierce energy, he closed his eyes, gathering all his strength to focus intensely, his heart pounding. The flow of passion and determination inside Yan Wang's body kept pouring out, making his blood boil. After hundreds of years of truly focusing, this was the first step to becoming a god again, to write a miracle once more. A powerful force was accumulated right in his mighty feet. The lone traveler stopped in front of the strange stone, speaking to the criminal who was trying to escape. At the same time, Yan Wang looked straight at Bat Fa and seriously said, Give it up. As soon as he finished speaking, he instantly activated the fourth form of the departed soul's rush. He screamed in despair and terror, No! Please forgive me! Jin Chan, Lu Jiao, is anyone there? Before Bat Fa could finish his words, Yan Wang decisively made his move, Wuzhen. His entire body seemed to freeze instantly. He delivered a decisive and clear finishing blow, the Vajra stone axe. A sharp sword line sliced through his body, while simultaneously piercing the dense atmosphere. In the dark space, a bright flash of fire suddenly flared up, illuminating the entire area. Bat Fa at this moment seemed completely exhausted, with no intention of fighting back. Amidst the quiet scenery, a cry of pain echoed, and the surrounding space was enveloped in warm colors. Streaks of light swept through every corner around here, after which everything returned to its original quiet appearance. Yan Wang exuded a cold aura, at the same time tightly gripping the sword in his hand. He silently looked up at Bat Fa, who was being restrained in midair as a series of lights illuminated the entire space. Yan Wang brought the sword in front of his face. He silently prayed for the lives of all good-natured living beings. He silently prayed that those who had been treated unfairly would no longer be threatened. The universe seemed to have received his prayer as the sky suddenly flashed with several beams of light. Gradually, the intensity of the light became thicker and thicker. Zekui quietly raised her eyes to look toward the radiating light. Everyone followed her gaze and looked over, and Debei could not help but be astounded by the scene before his eyes. Those tens of thousands of light beams were tens of thousands of hopes of living in peace for everyone. In the sky, a flame suddenly flared up, followed by a series of sparks appearing simultaneously. Amidst the pitch-black night sky, a bright canvas of hope arose. This instantly caught everyone's attention. A look of joy could not be hidden on Kim Thong Chan's face. Stunned by the magnificent sight, he exclaimed, Oh my God, look at that! A miracle has happened. Countless cracks appeared in the sky, emitting a golden light as numerous beams shone down to the ground, dazzling everything around. Following that, a section of the sky shattered and tore open, revealing another world. Yan Wang stood frozen, staring up at the fiery red sky filled with smoke and fire, while a soul hovered beside him. Yan Wang's expression turned serious as he fell into deep thought. The hexagonal power of the 8 gates had returned. Even though it suited him better, who knows, it might prove useful in the future. He looked up at the glowing red halo hovering above his head, feeling a hint of disappointment. It turned out this halo was actually a streak of blood, likely awakened during the fight, even though he had hoped it would be magnificent. Staring at the dripping, blood-red halo on his head, Yan Wang silently lamented, Now doesn't this look hideous? Suddenly, a massive surge of power welled up in his chest. Yan Wang raised his hand to feel it and thought, It has begun. He recalled the battle with Bat Fa. In his thoughts, he quietly assessed, breaking the unbreakable existence, a miracle appears, a new power is initiated. Yan Wang raised his hand, gathering power into his palm. He clenched it tightly and said, This should have been my benefit, but this time I will prioritize you. With those words, countless sources of energy began to gather, and a rift in time and space appeared beneath his feet. The spiritual energy was fully activated, surging inside him like intertwining currents. Then Yan Wang clenched his fist and said, "The soul of Park Hyung-gu." Suddenly, he released his hand to move the spiritual energy and continued to chant, "Come to me." From Yan Wang's hand, a massive source of spiritual energy burst forth, swirling and intertwining as it soared upward. Yan Wang thought to himself, by this newly received power. From that massive source of spiritual energy, a soul embryo began to condense, emitting a wondrous blue light. "Defying the rules of the gods, I grant you a title." Yan Wang lifted the soul embryo. It emitted a gentle blue light, as soft and pliable as water. He softly said that, from now on. Immediately after, his spiritual energy flowed into countless soft red bands, glowing and gradually gathering at Yan Wang's hand. He continued, "You shall become a Grim Reaper." Following those words, the fiery red spiritual energy erupted powerfully. It surged wildly before condensing into a single point on Yan Wang's hand. The sources of spiritual energy gradually dissipated, revealing Xian Wu's figure with a red hat and a dark black robe. Xian Wu's face was still filled with disbelief upon being resurrected, and he thought to himself, "Unbelievable, I'm alive again." Then Xian Wu touched his body, as if to confirm that he had escaped his spirit form. At present, he truly possessed a physical body just like a normal human. On his nameplate, it clearly displayed the words, "Death God Xian Wu." Xian Wu could not hide his astonishment and asked Yan Wang, "But what do you mean by Death God?" "I just want to be an ordinary human." Hearing this, Yan Wang merely smiled and replied, "So, it turns out you want to go back to being a wandering spirit. If you like, I won't stop you." Xian Wu quickly replied, "Then I will do my best." "But what does a Grim Reaper do?" Yan Wang smiled calmly and replied, "Let's see, once you become a Grim Reaper, you must first go meet the kid over there whose life is about to end." Yan Wang patted Xian Wu on the shoulder, pointed towards the other world behind the space crack, and said, "You two don't have much time left. Go quickly and use the flashback to extend that kid's lifespan." In that place, a pink-haired boy was kneeling down, burying his face in his hands, sobbing. Xian Wu looked over and was stunned, saying, "Brother Zekui?" It seemed the familiar voice had caught the attention of that blonde boy, who was indeed Zekui. When Xian Wu saw Zekui's sobbing face, he could not hide his astonishment. As if drawn by a strange attraction, the moment Zekui saw Xian Wu, he could not hold back and rushed toward him. It seemed Xian Wu was no different, also eagerly looking forward to reuniting with the one he had been longing for. The two of them crossed through the gateway of spacetime and embraced each other. Zekui could not conceal his deep emotion, hugging Xian Wu tightly while unable to stop his tears from falling. Recalling the time they first met, Zekui had avoided Xian Wu back then, even angrily snapping back, "Why do you need to know my name? Go away, I don't need your help." Believing in humans, he ignored Xian Wu's care. Meeting each other now, Xian Wu could not hide his emotion. He hugged Zekui tightly, tears streaming down his face. A memory, seemingly old but still deeply engraved, returned. At that time, Zekui looked exhausted, angrily shouting at Xian Wu, "Who is your brother? Stop pretending to be close, I'm so annoyed." Despite Zekui's attitude, Xian Wu still smiled and gently said to him, "Don't be like that." Yet, Zekui still shouted defiantly, "I told you not to talk to me." Recalling those old memories seemed to make Zekui extremely regretful and emotional now. He could not stop his tears from falling, his hands gripping Xian Wu tightly. Except for those. Even though they bickered, there were times when their relationship was very warm. In the memory of when Xian Wu fell ill, Zekui, though teasing in words, had a very caring tone, "Are humans really this weak? Give me your hand." Then he handed Xian Wu a paper packet containing something that could help him at that moment. Xian Wu took it and curiously asked, "What did you give me?" Zekui flusteredly stammered, "It's only half, so stop talking." Xian Wu, with a genuinely joyful look, replied, "Thank you." After so many bottled-up emotions, the two have finally reunited. All feelings seemed to burst forth. There were no words, only emotion and sincere tears upon meeting the person they had longed for. A voice called out, "The cookies are delicious." After a long period of time, the sky became clear and pure, though some sobs still echoed beneath the white jade canopy. Yan Wang turned back to look at them and smiled, asking, "You two brothers sure have a lot of tears. Are you done crying?" Zek Kui wiped his tears with his hand and replied, "It is not that much, sir." Seeing the flushed faces and swollen eyes of the two brothers, Yan Wang teased, "Yeah, just a tiny bit of crying." Zek Kui spoke up, "Lord Yan Wang, I have something to say." Yan Wang raised his hand, speaking with a hint of helplessness, "No need to thank me anymore, your eyes are as swollen as bulls." Zek Kui stammered in embarrassment, "Well, it's just..." From behind, Xian Wu reached out to pat Zek Kui on the shoulder, smiling to reassure him. Zek Kui turned around to look, feeling less nervous. He flashed a gentle smile at Xian Wu. Then, Zek Kui turned towards Yan Wang and sincerely expressed, "Thank you, my lord. The miracle you bestowed is like a giant tree of life, braving danger to preserve these two lowly souls." Hearing this, Yan Wang smiled comfortingly, "Hey Zek Kui, what's wrong again? Look at you, your eyes are tearing up again." Zek Kui continued, "We heard that you are in need of subordinates to restore hell." Both Xian Wu and Zek Kui looked towards Yan Wang with reverence. "Although we still have many shortcomings and might even waste your time, the two of us promise to work harder than anyone else." With that, both of them bowed deeply together, sincerely and solemnly making their vow. 12 armors Rat Zek Kui, Death God Xian Wu, from now on, we solemnly swear. Both of them looked up at Yan Wang with determined eyes, along with the contract about to be completed and the words, "To be your subordinates." Yan Wang was extremely astonished by the actions of Xian Wu and Zek Kui. The thread of fate, both of them had truly opened their hearts to entrust their destiny to him. Unless he himself was forced to sever it with his own hands, this connection would never be lost. What a strong determination! To regain all his powers, he only needed one more subordinate. Having Zek Kui and Xian Wu had already exceeded the minimum requirement. His heart beat fast, his muscles surged with strength, purity overflowed, and his 5 senses cleared. This was truly a deity, the halo ready. The moment to choose the first power had arrived. It should be that one of the 3 main powers, the foundation of all strength. The mirror reflects all things to see through the sins of karma. After his self-restoration, Yan Wang appeared with a more bloodthirsty appearance than before. The scene shifts to the high-rise buildings, where a voice rings out, "Let's see." Yan Wang stretched, somewhat tired, and stepped into the room through a crack in spacetime, capturing this Bat Fa guy and gaining these 2 subordinates. "My powers have also returned." He yawned and said, "The next power should probably go to Samshin, it won't be long before it's time to be reinstated." Then suddenly, a meat skewer was stuffed into Yan Wang's mouth. Zek Kui smiled at Yan Wang and said, "Hard work for you, Lord, that was an awesome miracle." Yan Wang spoke while eating the skewer, "Awesome indeed." Zek Kui continued, "This is fish cake, they were selling it on the street so I happened to buy some for you." Zek Kui is done with work, right? "Let's get off work, Lord Yan Wang, off work." Yan Wang happily said, "Sure, can we put this fish cake into Uncle Kim's soup?" Zek Kui enthusiastically replied, "Absolutely agreed." "Do you want to try?" Zek Kui looked towards the rift in spacetime and asked. "And what about the 2 over there?" Hearing this, Xian Wu and Zek Kui spoke in unison, "Are we allowed to go along too?" Zek Kui smiled warmly at them and replied, "Since you are Lord Yan Wang's subordinates, you are basically my colleagues. Let's go." Seeing this, Yan Wang said, "Zek Kui is very easygoing, Zek Kui. Just bring your crew along." Zek Kui replied with a less than pleased expression, "There's more?" At the dining table, Sasa finished the bowl of soup with a satisfied look. Seeing this, Zek Kui said, "Hey Sasa, there's still plenty of soup left, eat slowly." She seemed a bit angry and grumbled, food splashing all over the table. Zek Kui looked toward Zek Kui, pointed at her bowl, and said, "Sister Zek Kui, please give me another bowl. There is still some in the kitchen, go in and get more." On the other side, Zek Kui was brandishing his staff, direct remonstrance, Shin Nai, Vidra indestructible. Seeing this, Zek Kui teased, "Zek Kui, there's no need to copy your Lord Yan Wang that much." Suddenly, from inside the wall, Xian Wu poked his head out and said, "Sister Zek Kui, there is something." Zekui was a bit startled by Xianwu's sudden appearance. She asked Xianwu, "Have you been to the grocery store yet? We're almost out of food at home." Xianwu replied, "Yes, I stopped by a nearby supermarket. But, I am a Grim Reaper, nobody can see me anyway." Jiyu spoke in confusion, "Oh no, I just realized that." Xianwu scratched his head and continued, "And besides, there are about 300 souls following me around all the time." Jiyu gasped in shock when she saw dozens of souls behind Xianwu. She scolded him in disbelief, "Is that money? Why do you pick them up whenever you see them?" Xianwu smiled and replied, "It just happened naturally." Jiyu seemed angry, "You're still laughing? Go return those souls immediately. Lord Yin Wang, please help him." Then she looked over at Yin Wang and saw him curled up on his chair, saying, "Jiyu, the soup is too salty." Seeing this, she panicked, "Oh my goodness, what's wrong now?" Seeing this, Xianwu said that perhaps as Zekui's lifespan increased, Yin Wang's life force was also drained a bit. Both annoyed and helpless, Zekui said, "I thought you were the most normal person here." Everything suddenly became chaotic. Upasada called out, "Sister, is there anything left in our fridge to eat? I will create a miracle." Direct remonstrance, Xian Nai, "Look brother, that's a will-o'-the-wisp. Jiyu, the soup is super salty." This made Zekui angrily shout, "All of you, go back to hell." Hearing this, Yin Wang asked back, "Oh, going home?" Outside, the scenery became fresh with the morning sunlight. In the room, Han Yeji was sitting in front of the tea table waiting for someone, looking very anxious. Ziyu walked over, pulled out the chair opposite Han Yeji, and greeted her with a smile, "Captain Han Yeji." Han Yeji replied, "Jiyu." Jiyu excitedly said, "It has already been 3 years, hasn't it? After retiring as a protector monk, how has your life been, sister?" Han Yeji replied, "Well, my life is just normal, raising my child and working part-time to make a living." Jiyu wrapped her arms around her, joked, and said, "Simple happiness makes people so jealous. Is the little one well behaved?" Han Yeji replied with a look of helplessness, "He is just like his father, always causing trouble and never letting me rest easy." Jiyu looked at Han Yeji and asked, "Is there any reason you scheduled to meet like this? Is it about those corpses?" Hearing this, Yeji recounted with a distressed look. "Actually, my husband is following a sect. Recently, I heard they performed some kind of ritual. But after returning from the ceremony, he remained in a state of insomnia to the point of exhaustion, so I asked him about it." Then she recalled Miho complaining to her, "Honey, I feel like there is something wrong with my head." Yeji asked her husband anxiously upon hearing this. "What do you mean, honey?" Miho held his head helplessly and told Yeji, "It seems like an hallucination, someone keeps whispering in my ear. That voice has been lingering in my head all day." Yeji then continued to Zekui, "Even though we went to the hospital, they couldn't find anything unusual. Feeling like it was because of the ritual, my husband went back there to ask about it." She anxiously clenched her hands so tightly that she was trembling. Yeri lowered her face and continued in despair, "No news at all. I have reported it to both the police and the association, but no one believes me." Helplessly holding her face, Yeri's shoulders shook violently. She choked out, "Is the influence of that religious group really that big? Day after day, thinking about the fact that he cannot return makes me break down even more." Saying that, Yeri grabbed Zekui's hand, "Now I only have you left." Yeri sobbed, looking across, "Jiyu, could you please help find my husband?" Seeing this, Zekui couldn't help but ask Yeri, "So, what is the name of that religion?" The scene shifts back to the room where everyone seems to already know Yeji's concerns. Both Sasha and Yin Wang say in confusion, "Hell cult, it's really no joke." Sasha looks suspicious, "If it's true, these people have a pretty extreme taste, but who do they worship?" Yin Wang decisively says, "Why ask? Just hearing it, you know they don't worship anything good. Let's go and clean them out." Zekui hesitantly speaks up, fearing no one will believe her, "These people worship Lord Yin Wang." Yin Wang cannot help but be surprised, putting on an unbelievable face and asking, "Me?" Sasha replies to Zekui, "That is a funny joke." Zekui agrees, "They must be joking." Yan Wang, still in a state of utter disbelief, blankly points to himself and says, "Worship me, me?" Sasha groans with a weary face, "Of all the deities in this world, they choose to worship you. These goldfish poop followers have been completely brainwashed." Yan Wang still couldn't believe it and asked, "Worship me? Really?" Jiyu smiled and replied, "I've never dared to think about this before, so I don't really know what to say." Yan Wang hearing this shouted, "I'm also very formidable, not joking around. Have you forgotten who just created the miracle?" Then he continued, "Enough, follow me. It doesn't matter who they worship, whether that husband is alive or dead is still unknown." Zek Kui seeing this spoke with a sarcastic tone. "Lord Yan Wang, Jiyu even admired you especially. Moving so fast, I thought you would be self-satisfied all day." Yan Wang put his hand to his mouth, posing, then said in a deep voice, "Just making use of the time." Yan Wang showed a satisfied face and continued, "Let's see how grand my statue is." Jiyu heard this and said, "So this is actually your main purpose, isn't it?" Then the whole group walked to the temple grounds where Yan Wang was worshipped. Jiyu saw the statue of Yan Wang and exclaimed in surprise, "Oh my god, there is an actual statue. And it's even more deified, so far from reality." Yan Wang scrutinized it and said, "What a pity, I wish the jawline were a bit sharper." Hearing that, Jiyu turned back and scolded Yan Wang. "Even at this point, why don't you try to have a bit of a conscience?" Yan Wang pointed at his face self-complacently and said, "What human? I am a god, this is appreciating my true features." Ziyu shouted, "What an eyesore!" Yan Wang said crossly, "That is insolent, I am the supreme being of an entire religion." Ziyu replied back just as fiercely, "As if I would want to join your religion." Suddenly, a nun walked out, a low-ranking believer, and she spoke up. "Excuse me, do you need any help?" Zek Kui looked at the nun and secretly assessed, "Lord Yan Wang, she seems to be a follower of the underworld religion." Yan Wang replied, "A follower of the underworld religion? Just in time, let me ask a question." With that, Yan Wang pointed to the statue carved in his likeness and asked the nun, "Is this statue made to the correct standard?" Zek Kui became annoyed upon hearing this. "What on earth are you asking?" Zek Kui looked at the nun with some confusion and said, "Excuse me, don't listen to this person's nonsense, we came here." The low-ranking believer interrupted her and said, "You all noticed that flaw as well. How could the sacred greatness of Lord Yan Wang ever be fully depicted in a single statue?" Zek Kui thought to herself, "What a fanatic." Contrary to Zek Kui's dismissive look, Yan Wang eagerly asked back, "Indeed, there is no way to fully describe the beauty of Lord Yan Wang." "Sure," Zek Kui mocked silently, "how friendly." Yan Wang put on a provocative face, pointed at himself, and said, "See, I never lie, everyone recognizes the elegant appearance of." Zek Kui looked like she was about to explode. "Let me hit you once to wake you up." The nun said to them, "You all seem to care about Lord Yan Wang. Coming here, you must also want to follow the faith. If you don't mind, let us go inside to honor the greatness of Lord Yan Wang." Hearing the nun say this, Yan Wang laughed heartily and walked inside. "That's right, let's praise the great Yan Wang." Jiyu grumbled from behind, "What an eyesore." She sighed wearily and said, "If they find out the truth, would anyone still dare to follow this faith?" Yan Wang looked around, his face growing excited. "This is quite something, it must attract a lot of believers." Ziyu teased him by repeating his muttered words. "Please wait here for a moment." In the middle of the grand and magnificent hall, Yan Wang silently admired, "The inside is even wider than I thought." The priestess then reminded, "Jiyu, come back." Zek Kui asked again, "Aren't you going to guide us?" The nun replied, "I am only a low-level believer. You will be received by a mid-level believer." Hearing this, Zek Kui thought to himself, they even classify into mid-level and low-level. It seems they don't just worship simply, but also organize a proper hierarchy. Yan Wang spoke up and asked, "But I've heard some strange rumors. Some people attended the ceremony and then went missing." You didn't kidnap them, did you? Zekui thought with a bit of surprise, wow, asking so directly? From his eyes, red spiritual energy emerged, which was the powerful karma mirror that could see through all lies. Yan Wang cast magic onto his eyes, stared at the nun, and ordered, "Tell me everything you know." Hearing this, the nun asked back. Regarding the missing person, she continued in a confused voice, "To be honest, I know nothing at all. You should ask the intermediate believer instead, that would be better." Hearing that, Jiyu concluded in his mind that ordinary people have no awareness of the karma mirror. He turned to ask Yan Wang, "So, is she lying?" Yan Wang replied, "No, the karma mirror showed no reaction, she really doesn't know. We have no choice but to ask that intermediate believer." Suddenly, Jiyu turned back and called out, "Xianwu, are you there?" Immediately, Xianwu emerged from the ground, causing Jiyu to scream in sheer shock. Yan Wang looked at Xianwu and issued his first order, "There is a basement down here, go and check it out." Xianwu quickly bowed and replied, "Yes, sir." Witnessing this scene, Jiyu couldn't help but exclaim, "Sending an invisible Grim Reaper to investigate is indeed the most suitable choice." Ziyu suddenly asked Yan Wang with curiosity, "But how did you know there was a basement below?" Yan Wang replied with a smile, "Thanks to the Lu Jiao I took back from Bat Fa. Although I need more time to master it, my intuition is much sharper than before. For instance, I can sense," Yan Wang said seriously, "that someone is watching us." Then, silence fell over the surroundings. Inside a room, Izam was watching the two of them through a large screen. He said excitedly, "What should I do? Lord Yan Wang is coming to find me." Then he rolled around on the bed, "What should I do? I'm dying of happiness." It seemed he really idolized Yan Wang. "Lord Yan Wang, I knew you would come. My star, the idol of my heart." Then she hugged herself and said, "My love, my beloved." Oh Zhang stood in a corner of the room. Seeing Wai Zam's madness, she spoke up to remind him, "Clearly, there is no such relationship. How much longer are you going to act crazy?" The information appeared above Oh Zhang's head, 12 armors horse red horse blue. She continued, "Please snap out of it, brother." Wai Zam glared at Oh Zhang. Above his head, it showed 12 armors goat red goat blue. Suddenly, he vanished, leaving behind an afterimage. He lunged at Oh Zhang, pinning her down and squeezing her neck, screaming, "What did you say?" Ignoring Oh Zhang who was struggling to breathe on the ground, he spoke frantically, "A sweet lover of Lord Yan Wang like me, and you dare call me a man?" Oh Zhang choked out, "I am sorry, sister." He released his grip on Oh Zhang's neck and skipped away. Ivan said cheerfully, "Next time watch your mouth, I absolutely hate getting dirty blood on a happy day like today." He stepped out into the main hall. While dancing, he said, "He has arrived." Below, the hypnotized crowd could only fixate their eyes on him. Ivan sang while dancing, "The very end." The crowd below chanted in unison, "Burn down to the very end." Lord Yan Wang has descended, to the very end. He rushed toward the large chair in front of him, then suddenly plopped down and said with a crazed expression, "My Yan Wang, let me gaze upon your dying face." Jiyu asked in astonishment, "Is someone tracking us?" He then confirmed, "Yes, I can feel eyes watching us." Right after that, Yan Wang added, "I suddenly feel a chill down my spine. Could that person have some kind of motive?" She immediately replied, "Do you really have to ask that?" He pondered and speculated, could it be that God is watching over us? That perverted old man. The other asked, "Did you really say that to God?" Just then, a woman's voice echoed, "Apologies for keeping you waiting." A man also spoke up, "Hello, I am intermediate believer Kim Sharon." Right after introducing himself, Kim Sharon said, "Please follow me, sir." Yan Wang asked in surprise, "Just me?" He quickly replied, "Yes, our hell religion has different initiation methods for male and female believers." At that moment, Jiyu called out, "Lord Yan Wang," she whispered. "Let's just listen to that person until we meet someone of a higher rank. Only then can we find what you need." Yan Wang then asked, "Are you planning to investigate them?" Ziyu thought that a religion worshipping Lord Yan Wang sounded utterly absurd. They must definitely be hiding something. But he countered, "What's so absurd about it? What's strange about them doing that? Jiyu also refused to back down. No, this is clearly very suspicious. Don't you have any doubts at all, Lord Yanwen? He stubbornly asked back, what if they actually worship me? Kim Hoon witnessed this scene and blurted out, are you idiots? What on earth are you talking about? In his mind, he thought, but putting that aside, that girl doesn't seem to trust us. And so, Kim Hoon turned around to give instructions, proceeding exactly according to the believer's directives. She bowed her head in response, realizing it was finally time for the cremation. Next, Kim Hoon turned and said, that is enough, let us go, those who wish to enter the path. Only then did the two stop arguing, and the peace of this place was finally restored. Yen Wang gazed at the scene of the children practicing ahead. He then thought to himself, the karma mirror did not react, it seems they are telling the truth. But can one really judge by appearances alone to think this is a decent sect? Yen Wang hesitated, wondering if he should ask for a few more details. Eventually, he blurted out, have you seen any large man around here lately? We need to organize the ritual soon, but I am a bit worried since he is nowhere to be found. Kim Sharon understood as soon as he heard it. Are you talking about the man with the thick eyebrows? It seems his wife used to work in a funeral home. He seems to be an acquaintance of yours, would you like to meet him? Yen Wang asked suspiciously, is it really okay? He immediately confirmed, yes, of course. He once said he would live for Lord Yen Wang. They are the people who abandoned their families to join the religion. With that, Kim Sharon added that these things happen frequently. This made him a bit dazed. Did he say abandoned? As Jiyu walked, she overheard people gossiping. Hey, did you know about the cult leader? Really? That's awesome. After that, she turned. Jiyu asked, where are we going? It seems like we just passed the female believer's quarters. The low-level believer replied, just a little further. After speaking, she muttered again, just a bit more, just a little bit more. This made Jiyu quite curious. The woman kept telling her to go a bit further, but how far exactly did they have to go? In any case, it was truly strange. As she walked, she observed that the space inside this church felt bizarre. From the outside, it didn't look this large. In Jiyu's mind, thoughts kept emerging about the scholar's holy shroud and shroud power. Although she didn't understand it, something strange was definitely happening. Then she told herself that she had to focus. She absolutely had to find the captain's husband, in order to prevent anyone else from becoming a victim. Following that, Jiyu thought that even the very nature of this cult was extremely strange, and it definitely had to be investigated thoroughly. Right at that moment, a low-level follower suddenly spoke up and asked, Candidate follower, it seems you do not believe in our religion, do you? She stammered in response. No, I do believe in it. But the other party showed no respect and bluntly exposed her. You are a terrible liar. Those words left Jiyu even more flustered. Well. Unexpectedly, the lower-level believer suddenly turned back and said, it's all right. After saying that, she added, you will believe it soon. Then, the lower-level believer turned around to instruct, I leave this to you, the dead. Both of them placed their hands on her shoulders and said, Sinner. Shilu Manshao coldly said, Here. He then continued, Pull. This made Jiyu immediately realize the danger, death. But before she could do anything, he had already made his move. Her body, surprisingly, was controlled by Shilu Manshao. Right after that, Ziyu was thrown far away, her powerless body gradually sliding down. Before she could even process it, the attacks flew towards her. Seeing this, Jiyu immediately lowered her body to dodge the blow. Shilu Manshao then switched to another attack. Yet, Jiyu was not only unfazed but also jumped straight up, preparing to strike. But at the very moment she was about to make her move, her body was controlled once again. Control. This was completely unexpected and caught her off guard. Next, Zich Luke Mantu on the other side coldly commanded, Pull. Jiyu's body was instantly pulled high into the air. Upon landing, she spoke up, using the dead? As expected, this is no ordinary cult. Hearing this, neither of the two replied to Jiyu. She thought to herself, forgive me, Lord Yin Wang, but indeed, the followers of the Hell religion. On the other side, Yan Wang quietly lamented, he has truly lost his mind. Then he blurted out, do you really want to dedicate your entire life? Niho obediently replied, yes, from now on I will live for Lord Yin Wang. Right now, I feel very happy. In disbelief, he asked again, are you really planning to abandon your wife and child? He smiled gently and replied, my family consists of strong people. Even without me, they will be just fine. Besides, Niho put on his mask and asked in confusion, do you know me? I don't think we have met before. Yen Wang did not reply but just stood there, lost in deep thought for a long time. Kim Hoon, standing beside him, was also curious and asked, if you don't know him, why did you want to meet him? As he spoke, Yen Wang reached out and removed Kim Hoon's mask, asking, if you don't intend to become a believer, why are you here? This action left Kim Hoon utterly bewildered. What are you doing, suddenly taking off my mask like that? The young man replied nonchalantly, what? Aren't you a dead person? Kim Hoon immediately retorted, do you think I'm an undertaker? Yen Wang casually threw a punch and said, if not, then forget it. Kim Hoon was extremely surprised and questioned, why did you suddenly punch me? He didn't bother to answer and even casually threw another punch at Niho. Once finished, Yen Wang coldly spoke, the karma mirror has been activated. Then he thought to himself, it was ridiculous, but his words about being very happy were sincere. Even the fact that he would abandon his wife and children was also true. Yen Wang muttered to himself while putting on his mask, saying that staying here was also the truth. However, the statement I will live for Lord Yen Wang, only this part was a lie. He slowly analyzed that it was utterly absurd for a man willing to abandon his wife and children to become a believer, yet claim he does not believe in deities. He blurted out that there must be something fishy going on here. Next, Yen Wang mapped out an action plan. Since Lu Jiao was not here, he had to investigate on his own by disguising himself as a mid-level believer and slipping inside. He quietly wondered if the man had really been brainwashed. But clearly, he did not even believe in the deities. In Yen Wang's mind, doubts kept arising. Did he do this voluntarily? Giving up his entire family to join a cult, what on earth was it for? He felt extremely irritated that the man actually felt happy. For some reason, hearing that made him feel uncomfortable. Just then, a voice rang out, are you the mid-level believer, Kim Sharon? Kim Byong-gu eagerly spoke up, are you the new mid-level believer? Pleasure to meet you, I am Kim Byong-gu, the low-level believer in charge of this ritual. The ritual is about to start and I couldn't find you, so I came looking. Hearing this, he understood. The ritual. I see, conducting the ritual is the responsibility of a mid-level believer. As he followed him, Yen Wang thought to himself. She had said her husband seemed to turn into a completely different person after the ritual. Let's just pretend to be a mid-level believer and go in to see. However, as soon as he stepped into the room, Yen Wang felt a bit strange. He thought in surprise, is that the smell of gasoline? Immediately after, someone's voice rang out, Lord Yen Wang has descended, please burn everything down. Countless people spoke with deep reverence, Lord Yen Wang has descended, please burn everything down, please burn it all. They cried and shouted at the same time, Lord Yen Wang, please wash away all our sins, please grant me that thing. Pausing for a moment, they spoke again in prayer, begging for the fire to burn everything. Finally, the believers turned in one direction and screamed together, ultimately, please burn everything down. This sight made Yen Wang extremely surprised. What on earth were these people doing? The crowd kept shouting, burn it down, burn it all. Seeing this, he thought to himself, cleansing sins my foot, this is clearly a bunch of fanatics. Then, Yen Wang wondered, what is that thing tied up over there? A doll, perhaps? He told himself, if it were a real person, he would turn this place upside down, but what if it was just a ritual object? Right at that moment, someone asked if the preparation for the baptism was going smoothly. Bingatha hesitantly called out, high-ranking believer. He then replied, are you sure you have remembered the entire process? He respectfully reported that before the ceremony, they would read the prayer, and then begin the ritual. The high-ranking believer added that this was an important ritual personally directed by the deputy pastor, so absolutely no mistakes must occur and any chaos must be prevented. Baekhyun stammered in response, yes. Then he turned and walked away. Good, report to me when the ritual is over. He bowed and replied, understood. Afterwards, Yen Wang spoke up, hey, I have a slight question. He asked, do young believers also participate in this ritual? Only then did Baekhyun notice, what, Lee Jun, come over here. He gently explained, this ritual is only for adults. The believers asked everyone to take care of young Lee Jun. But Lee Jun reacted very violently, I don't want to, I want to stay here too. The boy kept screaming, I want to stay here, let me in too. Soon, Lee Jun was crying with tears and running nose, let me in too. Yen Wang wondered in surprise, what makes? Why did he yearn for it so desperately? Meanwhile, in another development, a low-level believer stood aside, watching and speaking coldly. The deputy pastor said we will burn the anomaly, control her, and bring her to the ritual site. He immediately replied, understood. Jiyu was extremely surprised to hear this. Burn? Could it be related to the ritual that the captain's husband participated in? Then she blurted out, what on earth happened during that ritual? The other two coldly replied, we are under no obligation to explain anything to you. Indeed, we are not. She thought to herself that if she followed that female believer, maybe she could find some clues. While fighting, Jiyu silently observed, but these guys cooperate incredibly well, they are truly hard to deal with. Then she told herself that first, she had to find a way to deal with these two guys. On the other side, the man shouted again, pull. Jiyu did not want to show weakness either, immediately responding, please. She was quite curious, would the protective barrier be able to block this strike? But very quickly after that, she had her answer, it had absolutely no effect. Shi Lu Man Shao, seeing her fail, immediately rushed over and mocked, are you running into the wall you built yourself? Despite the sudden attack, Jiyu quickly activated her skill, undo the seal. She quietly thought to herself that the power was actually nothing special, she just needed to shake their coordination. However, the two of them quickly teamed up to attack Jiyu and yelled, pull. Her once flexible body was now constantly swaying in mid-air. This made Jiyu deeply suspicious. As her body spun in the void, it seemed the center of the pulling force was not her body at all. She speculated, the fabric, or more precisely, the outfit she was wearing. A second later, Jiyu was thrown straight into a wall harder than stone. She endured the pain and analyzed, could there be something in the clothes she was wearing? Did they want to disrupt her posture like just now? The two Shi Lu Man Shao kept arguing with each other, I told you to cooperate with me. Cooperating like this is too hard to coordinate. Seeing this, Jiyu immediately reconsidered, no, I don't think they did it on purpose. She was highly skeptical, meaning they could only use their power on clothes and not the body? Why only the jacket and not anything else? Just as the words left his mouth, another spell was cast. Ziyu thought in surprise that this time it was the other shoulder. Shi Lu Man Shao immediately rushed forward to threaten her. Surrender quietly, human. She asserted in her heart that this time it was a smaller one, so there must be some sort of pattern. Jiyu quietly observed that he seemed to need to stretch out his hand when using his power. Could it have something to do with the hand? Immediately after, her eyes lit up, and she thought to herself, now I understand. Jiyu was quick-witted and swiftly took off her coat, causing his attack to miss. Then, she used the coat to hold on to the gun barrel. Shi Lu Man Shao looked completely bewildered. Wrapping my weapon with a coat? Damn it! However, he still had no intention of giving up. No way! Pull! Hearing the command, Jiyu reacted immediately. He was instantly dragged along by his coat. Shi Lu Man Shao gasped in bewilderment, then spoke up, I understand your power now. Ziyu suddenly recalled, earlier when placing a hand on her shoulder, it wasn't to exert pressure but... She continued spiritedly, touching to push or pull, that is the condition to activate the power, right? The power has already taken effect on my coat. With that, Jiyu added, the thing being pulled toward that big guy isn't me. Hearing this, Shi Lu Manshao stammered, what? Jiyu kindly pointed out, the weapon has already been wrapped up in my coat. Before long, the gun barrel was aimed right at him. Shi Lu Manshao immediately reassured, don't panic, get ready to catch me. Don't counterattack yet, stop. Hearing this, Shi Lu Manshao acted accordingly. What the? However, it seemed that action did not please him. You fool, I told you to block carefully. Shi Lu Manshao grumbled. Get up quickly, she was just about to put on the scholar's holy shroud. It seems she doesn't just know how to create shields. Before he could finish warning, Jiyu had already rushed over. Too late. As soon as the words left her mouth, her attack hit its mark. Shi Lu Manshao was extremely panicked when he saw his comrade get hit. While he was still trying to explain, wait a minute, actually I am not the dead, Jiyu had already lunged forward to launch an attack. By the time she landed, both of them were lying sprawled on the ground. Only then did Jiyu speak up, I've never seen anything like this before. She wondered, a cult that controls departed souls? Seeing the scene on the ground, Jiyu realized, as expected, the hell religion. Scene change, Yan Wang, while flipping through a book, sighed, how strange. Next, he asked a question, the sinner has caused harm to countless departed souls. This sounded like a sentence. Bingathu immediately confirmed, yes, it is said that someone wrote down the sentence of Lord Yan Wang. Yan Wang thought to himself, he did not remember ever issuing such a judgment. Then he told himself, this scent, I have encountered it before, I smelled it somewhere just now. Yan Wang immediately glanced toward the incense burner. Was that the smell coming from the incense burner? It seemed like something was mixed inside. Gradually, he understood that the followers becoming so silent was definitely because of it. If he could find just a few more clues, perhaps he would know what was happening. Yan Wang. I have to admit, not having Lu Jiao is indeed difficult. This was originally his specialty. While he was still lost in thought, someone announced, right now, the ritual will begin. The crowd of believers chanted, burn it down, burn it all. He observed and thought to himself, the person performing the ritual was also not sober. He stumbled around as if he were drunk. The believers urged once again, burn it all down. As they spoke, there was a movement inside. Yan Wang immediately asked, just now, did that thing just move? Bingathu replied nonchalantly, possibly, because there is a sinner inside. Then, he spoke in a highly suspicious tone, did you not know? Yan Wang slowly turned his head, thinking to himself, why do I feel like I just made a huge mistake? He raised his voice to ask, what crime did that person commit? The man warily raised his hand, he was disrespectful to Lord Yan Wang, cursing and such, so the assistant pastor told us to pay special attention to him. Yan Wang interrupted him, stop joking. He grabbed Bingathu's collar, today's ceremony is cancelled, drag the person inside out right now. The man struggled, no, you should be the one who understands this best, how can you do this? This was ordered by the assistant pastor. In the hands of the prospective believer was a torch, he screamed, hey, what the hell have you been doing all this time? Shouldn't the ritual be finished by now? Hurry up and let me get the medicine. Yan Wang couldn't help but be astonished, medicine? He pointed toward the incense burner, his voice becoming more frenzied than ever, do you want to pretend you don't know? Just burning it in the burner is not enough, I'm going crazy. Suddenly, a doubtful voice echoed, this only needs to be lit up, right? The prospective believer was confused, fire, light it up? Suddenly, a strong gust of wind blew by, instantly extinguishing the torch in his hand, leaving only a faint trail of white smoke. Yan Wang slowly lowered the machine, softening his voice, say something that makes more sense, killing him just because of insulting evil? Bingathu witnessed that scene, unable to hide his astonishment, since when? The prospective believer suddenly rushed forward, sat down, and exclaimed, hey, what the hell are you doing? Why did you take that off? I still need to get my medicine. Clutching the bundle in his hands, he yelled directly at the man's face. Are you planning to kill people just to get that medicine? You lunatics! Hearing those words, the prospective believer became extremely furious. Damn it! He immediately tore off his mask and cursed incessantly. He heard that they would give medicine if he became a believer, which was why he came here. So what on earth are you babbling about now? His face filled with urgency, he opened his mouth wide and screamed frantically at him. Give me the medicine. Hand over drug X now. Bingoth quickly stepped forward to reassure the reserve believer. Dear reserve believer, could you please help me call the high-ranking believer? If you explain it clearly, you will definitely receive the medicine. He felt as if he had caught a lifesaver and quickly asked, What? Where? He glanced around in confusion. Outside? Over this way? Hearing the news, the other believers also ran off to search. If we find the high-ranking believer, we will get it. How much did they say they would give? Now that all the believers had run outside, he finally questioned him. You've been constantly saying strange things, so I suspected it. You're not a believer, are you? Your skill just now was clearly not normal. Seeing Yen Wang not answering, he arrogantly and persistently continued to ask, Are you an undertaker? Only then did Yen Wang reply, No. He slowly turned around, looking straight at Bingatha, each word sharp as a knife, I come from hell. Bingatha sneered, directly taking off his mask, What hell? Talk some sense. He aggressively advanced toward him, I will make you pay for being dishonest. Bingatha launched an attack with a cold face, Cleanse the sins. On the opposite side, Yen Wang did not move at all, still standing frozen on the spot. He felt puzzled standing before this man. In his heart, he thought, that movement just now was by no means ordinary. Bingatha recalled Yen Wang's expression, clearly sensing that the opponent's ability far surpassed his own. The opponent must be a protector monk who specialized in speed. However, his own technique could control swords in midair, he just needed to use those swords to stop him from rushing forward. At this moment, Bingatha slowly turned his head to face him. He warned, I don't know if I can win, but I will stop you at all costs. With the triple blades that I control, don't even think about passing through without getting hurt. Yen Wang let out a cold laugh, replying sarcastically, Triple blades? Yes, truly terrifying. Bingatha spoke up triumphantly, so take off your mask and reveal your identity, if you are willing to be honest. But he interrupted him. Hearing those words, Yen Wang found it utterly baffling. Scratching his head awkwardly, he said, The god you worship is me. Bingatha frowned, letting his guard down. Yen Wang had personally come to the Hell religion, so why was he still wearing a mask? It was truly hard to believe. He then made a proposal, if that was the case, then take off the mask to show him. In his heart, he thought to himself that right at the church gate, there was a statue of Lord Yen Wang. He remembered that massive statue, which he had seen countless times, just one glance would be enough to recognize it. Bingatha quickly came to a conclusion, if the other party was truly Lord Yen Wang, he would definitely look 100% identical to that statue. Seemingly having lost all patience, he blurted out decisively. Take off the mask. Yen Wang slowly reached up to remove his mask, softly replying. Don't panic. He raised his head high, boasting, I am indeed. Bingatha growled and shouted, Hey, you. He was so angry that the blue veins on his face bulged out. How dare you impersonate Lord Yen Wang with that face? He did not hesitate to utter sharp and hurtful words, You do not even have a sharp jawline. How dare someone who looks like 3-year-old chicken feed pretend to be him? Yen Wang was astonished. What? He angrily pointed his finger straight at his face. Why is this guy being so harsh? Hey, this looks exactly like the statue. Bingatha argued back, each sentence more furious than the last. Where is the resemblance, you rotten potato sprout? Suddenly, a storm brewed, and bright flashes of lightning struck down from the quiet dark sky. He sneered, Look, even heaven is laughing at you. Yen Wang was fuming with rage, the gods will not let this slide. Bingatha despised him so much that he insulted him relentlessly. He mocked, how dare you use that ugly face to offend Lord Yin Wang? Oh my god, you look like a squid chewed and spat out by a zebra. Suddenly, a powerful surge of energy struck down. Yin Wang could no longer hold back, landing a devastating punch on Bingathu, sending him flying backward as fresh blood splattered out. He snorted in helplessness. I get it, you bastard, fine. Seeing that the other man wanted to say more, he shouted, I said I get it already. He had been insulted so badly that glistening tears began to fall. He cried out, that damn statue, that precious statue of yours. Yen Wang coldly turned his back to leave. He made up his mind and screamed after him, when I leave this place, I will smash it to pieces. With that said, another heavy blow landed right on Bingathu's face. Yen Wang followed up with a direct kick straight to his face without any mercy. The kick was so powerful that he was sent flying, then he collapsed onto the ground before the eyes of the onlookers. A loud noise echoed, drawing everyone's attention. What was that? The door has been breached. Yen Wang wiped away his tears and declared, I will destroy everything. Deep inside, he comforted himself, don't be sad. In my opinion, Yen Wang is even more handsome than Xianwu. Switching scenes, his surprised voice came through, old man, you called it just the right time. On the other end, the elderly voice of Lu Jiao resonated, as expected, it is only you. To think you actually believed it, how pitiful. He continued speaking into the receiver, like a squid chewed up and spat out. I have investigated the Hell religion as you mentioned. The time the Hell religion began preaching and the time the drug spread completely coincide. He circled regions on the maps. The scope of activity also matches the places where the drug was distributed. I went to search for a drug sample to analyze. Hearing something unusual in Lu Jiao's voice, Yen Wang asked, what is making you hesitate like that? He replied, this drug doesn't seem to be an ordinary substance. He shook the packet of medicine in his hand, his voice as light as a feather. There are a few suspicious points, but I will check it more thoroughly. Either way, it is certainly better to be safe. Feeling puzzled, he asked bluntly. By the way, I heard that Rat said he would give you a magical artifact, right? Why did you refuse? Lu Jiao said. Even if it is just a replica, having it would still be more helpful. Yen Wang walked on, replying to him as he went. That Zekui is being transferred to the reconstruction site of the Hell religion, correct? He shared his perspective, suggesting that simply entering that place already required dealing with many things. He continued to analyze, noting that since they were busy, he hesitated to ask them to move things around. He spoke up, analyzing that using a clone that could not even contain his power would ultimately serve no purpose anyway. On the other side, Lu Jiao thought for a moment, then hesitantly replied that it was true, but still. He comforted the old man, seemingly unaware that someone with a mysterious face was appearing right behind his back. He softly said, do not worry too much. But then Yen Wang sensed the imminent danger nearby. He used the hilt of his sword to thrust backward, sending the pursuer tumbling back. He glanced back at Miho, who was tailing him, and smiled faintly, because I have intuition.